I'll be titling this segment, I'll bring the sex, you bring the beef.
Nice.
That'll be on the best of.
No doubt.
I had kind of an overweight girl that I picked up at the Touch one night. We were all drunk. And
What's the Touch?
that was the night.
That remain inside of me.
That was the nightclub inside the South.
Sounds like the Regal Beagle.
No, it was the nightclub inside the Southampton Princess. That's what they
That's
called
Southside.
it. The Touch.
That's a bad. I'll be honest. That's a bad name for a nightclub.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was a nice nightclub though. That's where we went most because it's right down the hill from where we lived. So, we could stagger ourselves.
Yes, don't touch it.
And I got back to the house and got in bed. And I said, "What am I doing? Look at this."
I'll touch you deeply.
I kind of pawned her off on my Australian friend downstairs. I said, "Come on downstairs. I got to get some sleep. You're going downstairs." And she had like a towel on. I put a towel on her. I walked her downstairs to Sean's house, Sean's apartment. He's Australian. And it said he never locked his door, so I just walked in, put her on the couch. Next day,
She went along with all
Sean comes up for coffee. He goes, "Anybody know how this fat naked broad got on my couch last night?"
Mine.
Did he at least get a porterhouse out of it?
That poor guy had to take her home. He goes, "What am I going to do?" I said, "I was tired of her. I just dropped her in your place." He goes, "No, she needs a ride." I go, "I'll give her a ride."
Oh.
Sean was a nice guy. But I
You're a whore and you're wrong.
We got to get Sean on, Doug.
Sean Laguerre, Victoria Land.
People are looking him up right now on Facebook to invite him to the fan page.
I think he's still on Facebook. Sean Laguerre.
Doug, you friends with Sean Laguerre?
I don't know how to spell Laguerre.
I think he's from Queens.
How do you spell the first name?
Sean, I believe, is SHAWN, and Laguerre is LEGEAR, I think.
Nice.
I think he's from Queensland, actually. Nice guy, though. Great guy.
Okay.
Soon to be a member of the fan
He
page.
brought his family, sent him some Vegemite one time. He said, "What? It smells like medicine. You eat this stuff?" "Yeah, mate. It's great." "Oh, God, it stinks."
Yeah, that's supposed to be horrible. It's like molasses or something, isn't it?
You've had Vegemite.
Yeah, it's great. Well, I had the British one. What's that? Marmite. Ugh. It tastes awful. Couldn't taste worse.
But the natives of those lands enjoy it?
Oh, he loved the Vegemite.
What is something Americans eat that everybody else around the world goes, what in the world?
I hear root beer.
outside of a lot.
I hear root
Spam.
beer. Root beer isn't well liked around the world.
Is that right?
Our bread.
Spam.
Bread.
Our American bread is hated around the world. 'Cause
Really?
It's super sweet. And so people are like, how do you eat a sandwich with like salami and then like cake bread? They call it
bread.
You like buy like a loaf of Wonder Bread and give it to a European, they will be like, this is cloyingly sweet.
Wow.
This is cloyingly?
Cloyingly?
What the hell does that mean?
Just a word, Doug.
Cloyingly?
Get off my
I've never
back.
heard it.
Just means like it's too sweet. Like you ever have something that's too sweet and it's just like it's just too sweet at once. It's like cloying.
I've never heard that word.
Okay, well there you go.
Cake bread makes a good
Could be a
line.
big
But yeah,
day
so like
for
people-
our
yeah,
buddy
people in Europe
Sean
hate bread.
Laguerre.
Sean Laguerre's getting a lot of friend requests.
Sean Laguerre.
Is he still on Facebook?
Yeah, I have one mutual friend with him.
Who's that, me?
You.
I think if you took all of Biff's,
Think it was Clay?
Becky Wiesberger.
I think if you took all of Biff's lists of foods, that's what other countries don't like. That's what other countries don't like from QT biscuits and gravy or whatever.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at tmastl.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
If you're like most folks, you probably added some credit card debt over the summer. Vacations, projects around the house, just living costs an arm and a leg these days. Have you thought about a cash out refinance? Maybe you think that mortgage rates are too high. Take a look at those credit cards. Most of them are in the 20% range. With a cash out refinance, you can pay off your credit cards, and when mortgage interest rates come down, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to save you even more money. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I'm here with a great sponsor on TMA, and that is the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. But here is the thing. You hear injury law and you go, okay, well, that's all they do. But that is not necessarily the case.
Yeah, Tim, we also do workers' compensation cases, and those are obviously cases that comes from someone getting hurt while at work. But these cases are actually kind of tricky because workers' compensation cases are governed by their own set of laws, and they can be difficult to navigate. There's a lot of things people don't know. For instance, all your medical treatment has to be provided by your employer, and there's 2 different kinds of payments you need to be concerned about in a work comp case. One type is just getting paid for the time that you can't work, and the other is a settlement for the permanent injury that you have, which factors in various elements of your case, such as what body part and how severe it is. And this is where you need a knowledgeable work comp attorney to help you maximize your settlement. The insurance companies don't negotiate fair in these cases and don't settle for less if you're hurt at work. Visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Engineer Design Facilities is moving forward as the EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facilities service provider in the St. Louis market. Check out the newly revamped website, theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. EDF Group is your one throat to choke for all your critical facilities, data center, commercial fire alarm, and electrical and IT infrastructure needs. To contact the EDF Group, email fire@theedfgroup.com. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios. Welcome, friends, to the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Selvin Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, and Action Jackson with you here on the radio program. Why don't you come on in? Because the water is warm today here on the final day of July, in which we will decide the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month for the month of July. Doug, we've seen it before with Natty Nate's phone call.
Oh, yeah.
A 2-minute phone call can win an entire month of Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month. It's happened before. Apply at TMASTL.com.
It can turn just like that.
Yep.
And we've seen it turn.
We've seen it. We've witnessed
yes, we've seen.
Nice. And the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today is a showdown between Brian Henshin and Buck Swope. Swope with a 1-goal lead, and Henshin trails by 1. So we'll see how many emails he submits today. Over under is 4.5.
Okay.
4.5 is where we are
He's
there.
prolific.
The morning after at InsideSTL.com is how you can email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. The EDF Group text inbox is how you can text in 314-881-TMA5. And, of course, call in 636-9004. TMA. Doug, we are in the midst of the trade deadline as it is now. What would you say? God, would you say it's 33 hours away? Would you say that?
I don't really count in hours like that, Tim.
34, I think.
They just tell me that it's, 5 o'clock Tuesday our time?
That's right.
I don't know how many hours it is, because that's going to change a lot. Let's just say 5 o'clock Tuesday. And then we'll know.
So 33?
I just don't.
Started off great.
Uh-oh.
Terrible. It's terrible. You know it's terrible. Hey,
come on now.
You know it's terrible, Doug.
Come on now.
I'll let you have your takes, but, oh, Jesus.
You got mats for next year. That's good.
Our rotation got worse for next year. Our AA franchise got better, but we have the 27th worst baseball team in the majors. I'm confused what their goal is. Is it to make your minor league club a little more competitive while your major league club dies on a vine?
Let me get that.
Get out.
You're getting them out already.
Yeah. You might as well strap them in with duct tape.
Strap on.
Okay.
Yeah, strap on, not strap in.
Oven mitts are on. Okay, now, far away.
I do have
It gets too hot to touch anything in here.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. They call the Ghostbusters and the In Control. Doug, you remember that song?
No.
Is that Bobby Brown
I
on
don't
our
know
own?
who it was.
I'm going to say 89, Jackson, because I don't think it's 87. That gets me 88 and 90. On Our Own, Bobby Brown, Ghostbusters 2. Not as bad as Caddyshack 2, but I didn't think it was good as the original Ghostbusters. Thoughts?
That's all correct. On Our Own came out in 1988.
Man, Bobby Brown.
Did you watch the Chick Ghostbusters by chance?
I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that
Was
one.
it good?
I haven't seen either. All 3 of them. I haven't seen any of them.
Dan Aykroyd, if he's not in there, it ain't good, right?
Did he receive oral from a ghost?
Oh!
Oral adjacent.
What would that feeling be? Probably like a stranger, when you sit on your hand for an hour.
Right.
Like put it up in front of
You can't feel your hand. Yeah.
I don't know what led to this, but I'm happy to see it. Scott Wrinkled Ballsack's wife gets to lead off the EDF Group text inbox. I don't believe this is a trade take. If Margot Robbie wanted anal without hesitation, she is getting what she wants. I'd drink her bathwater. That's from Scott's wrinkled ballsack's wife.
Oh,
so not unhappy with the takeaway from the Blue Jays or Rangers, but would like to take something away from Margot Robbie.
That was the wife?
Scott's wrinkled ballsack's wife, Iggy.
There'd have to be a strap-on involved.
She is.
I would assume, unless she has a nubbin for lovin'.
Oh.
So, Doug, the Rangers.
Go ahead, Plowsy. Are you done yet?
I'm-
Because it's pretty hard to sit here and listen to you badmouth Dakota Roby and Thomas Segues, not to mention Sam Roberts and Adam Klopfenstein. You didn't want those guys?
Do you remember when the Rams drafted 2 tight ends and one was named Klopfenstein?
The same guy. Yeah. This is
None
the
of them
same
panned
fella.
out, by the way. I don't know. My take is probably uneducated, so I was waiting for like a pro like yourself to take the reins.
Okay.
I just don't understand what they got in terms of it's helping us next year, because it isn't. Is it helping us in 2025? Maybe. The best prospect we got in the entire trades outside of that right-handed pitcher was a shortstop, but we kind of have 5 of those already.
And
I just don't get it.
He was ranked the Rangers' 23rd best prospect.
We absolutely got nothing, and I don't know what the game plan is. There were 2 decent players we got rid of, granted not under contract next year, Montgomery and Hicks, but still, I didn't want to see a Hicks extension, but I would have rather gave Montgomery $100 million to secure at least a starting rotation spot, because now still you have Matz and Michaelis. Nothing has changed for next year.
Doug, how surprised were you that the Jordan Hicks extension didn't pan out?
Stunned. Absolutely stunned. And Flaherty, too. They say, well, they may talk to Flaherty. Yeah, right. Zalak said they were looking for pitchers at the minor league level that had swing and miss stuff, that they want strikeout pitchers. None of the stats really on the guys they got jump out at you. They don't really, none of them go, oh, wow, look at this guy. Yeah, I can see that. But maybe they see something in these people. It used to be when the Cardinals went out and got a pitcher, we kind of trusted them, that they knew what they were doing with pitching. Now, I don't think people have that same faith that they're going to make the right calls.
That's right. Doug, I don't know anything about any of these guys, and I would imagine the vast majority of people don't either. But if they do, we would love to have you on Balloon Party today.
Okay.
Jackson, what is our availability on Balloon Party today?
10 to 11. You can have any
Wow.
spot.
Sick.
So we didn't plan anything.
Call the Cardinals and get Klopfenstein on.
Doug, was it Joe Klopfenstein and Dominique Bird, and then one got in a fight at
think
Pepper
so.
Lounge?
Yeah, that was Bird who got in a fight and got thrown off the team, I think.
And then they drafted 2 tight ends in the second round. It was fun. It was fun. And they both went to the Pro Bowl.
Neither one was mounted to much.
One went to the Pepper Lounge.
Yeah.
So Keith Law writes for The Athletic. I read his column on these people. And he said, Segues?
Isn't
Thomas Segues?
that the shortstop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alone would be a nice return for 2 months of Montgomery, but the Cardinals also got right-hander.
Hesitate now. Don't rush into it.
Dakota Roby.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Who was pushing to become the Rangers' top pitching prospect until he hit the injury list in early June with a shoulder issue. And shoulders for pitchers usually aren't a problem.
Yeah, they are. They're a huge
Okay, I
problem.
got something different here. Prior to that, he was 92 to 96 miles an hour, the plus changeup, 50-55 slider, and a yacker of a curveball.
Oh,
You like that?
Yeah, I do like
I'm
that.
done. I actually changed my take. I love this guy.
Yacker.
There was talk about the Cardinals working out a long-term extension with Hicks,
Ha!
There was
No way.
which would have been incredibly misguided for a reliever who's already had Tommy John surgery and consistently had walk rates far worse than the league average, including this year where he's walked 12.7% of batters he's faced. For the record, the average for National League relievers is 9.6%. Yes, Hicks sits 100-plus miles an hour with his sinker and his sweeper, slider, / do-jigger.
Does anything yak?
No, it do-jigs.
Oh,
Gets a ton of whiffs, and that gives him some value because he gets ground balls and misses bats. He also walks too many guys, and when he gives up contact, it's generally very hard contact. The Jays did just place closer Jordan Romano on the IL with a back injury, and the right-handed relief corps has been solid but unspectacular. Hicks gives him a different look, and someone beyond Trevor Richards in their bullpen. Right-hander Sam.
Oh no.
Sam
Easy.
Robert.
It looks like Roberts. Yeah.
He pronounces like 3 different ways.
He does?
Yeah, I went into the opening drive before our show to talk to Brooke and Carrie about what they thought about the names. And Brooke said she did a deep dive, and he's Dutch, so he pronounced it like one way and then a different way in another interview, and then broadcaster pronounced a different way. It's very confusing.
Well, they're not going to be supportive from 10 to 11 when we mispronounce it, I can assure you that. Doug, the last time the Cardinals brought on a Dutch pitcher, it was our friend from Aruba, Sidney Ponson,
right.
And the Cardinals won the World Series that year. Do you believe that's the reason for acquiring Roberts?
Yes. I can't see any other reason. But he must be pretty good, right?
Sam Roberts.
He can't just be a guy.
Is the better of the 2 prospects coming to the Cardinals in this trade, although he's had a disappointing 2023 where his stuff hasn't progressed at all from last year and is sliding even as the season has gone along. He was signed at 16 out of the Netherlands as a highly projectable pitcher with a great delivery and command for his age, but he was working in the mid-80s. He's still mostly just 90 to 92 miles.
Mid-80s? Wow. We picked up a 40-year-old and a 25-year-old body. Awesome.
He's still mostly just 90 to 92 miles an hour, topping out at 94 miles an hour. He won't turn 22 in October, so he's still young enough to find another 2 to 3 miles an hour somewhere. That might make him a mid-rotation starter, whereas now he might just be an emergency call-up.
So far, so good.
We got nothing.
Right-hander Adam Kloffenstein.
Now we're talking.
Son of former Rams tight end.
After a good night at Pepper Lounge.
He's repeated Double-A this year and had improved results, although his stuff is still average at best. And he's going to have a harder time against even slightly more disciplined hitters. His best pitch and his most used one is his slider, which was below average last year.
Below average?
But is now solid average with a little bit better break and velocity. He's hitting 90 to 94 miles an hour, up a little from last year, although the pitch still doesn't miss any bats.
Oh.
And he has below average command. All right, now that's The Athletic.
Okay.
So let's see what ESPN has to say regarding it. Rachel Nichols, ESPN. Let's see what we've got here. Here's your trade grade for the Cardinals and Jordan Montgomery. Just posted an hour ago. I was reading this. It was just posted early this morning. The Rangers get an A- for receiving Jordan Montgomery and Chris Stratton. The Cardinals for receiving...
Oh, gosh, here comes the name again.
Those guys.
Thomas, I guess, Takorobi, and John King.
Yeah, you got that one.
Get a C. The actuarial aspect of this trade kind of works. You have 2 non-elite pending free agent pitchers. Their 2 months of remaining production would be a lot more valuable to a contending team than one that began Sunday looking up at the Pirates in the standings. Alas, I'm really not that excited about St. Louis's return. Call it a matter of opportunity cost. In this trade environment with so many teams hunting for pitchers and so many teams in relative contention, I would have expected a better and differently structured package that offered more upside potential, even if that meant dipping into the rookie complex leagues for a very young wild card type or 2. I don't have a problem with either Roby or Sagesse. You need middle-of-the-road prospects. And the Cardinals produce plenty of them. But King? He's a 28-year-old lefty reliever about to hit arbitration eligibility, who is what he is. He doesn't miss bats and throws a heavy sinker that produces a lot of ground balls. For lack of a better term, he's kind of a ham and egger.
Oh, we got a ham and egger. Oh.
The Cardinals have added to their organizational depth, but could have done more. Maybe they could have fashioned a different outgoing package, folding in Montgomery and Hicks together in an effort to land 1 or 2 prospects with higher ceilings. As it is, this deal on St. Louis's end feels light. All right, Doug? So that didn't go in well.
So that's
good. Blue Jays get Jordan Hicks. Cardinals get...
Oh, no.
Sam Roberts and Joe Kloffenstein's done with Dominique Bird.
Well, I really like John King just because we can say his name with confidence. That's the one good thing about the deals.
Blue Jays get B+ on the deal. Cardinals get a B-.
Oh.
The Cardinals are no doubt frustrated that Hicks never really reached his potential. They get 2 starting pitching prospects in Double-A for a rental reliever. Roberts, a 21-year-old native of the Netherlands, has a 4.06 ERA for New Hampshire in 18 starts. He was Kylie McDaniel's number 10 Blue Jays prospects heading into the season. Kloffenstein, 22-year-old right-hander, has slightly outperformed Roberts at Double-A. Neither player is a high-ceiling prospect, but both are young, at least have the potential to start, and will offer potential depth for next season, which the Cardinals will need. If one of them eventually pans out as a back-end rotation starter, the Cardinals would be happy. That's from David Shum.
Are either one of those guys ham and eggers?
It wasn't mentioned.
There's only one ham and egger, and that's the name we can pronounce. King.
King, Michael King, Bill King.
How bad is it that, and this is ESPN, but they're in Double-A with 4-point ERAs, and they're penciled in to be in the back of the rotation next year?
I guess the guy gets a reputation, some of it based on how much they paid to sign him.
What he wrote was, if one of them eventually pans out as a back-end rotation starter, the Cardinals will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
That was ESPN. I read Keith Law first. So,
But probably more trades to come, and that's when we'll get some guys that'll help next year.
Nice. With simple names.
Yeah, hopefully. Be a Jackson or a Smith or
The deadline isn't done, so it's hard to judge. But right now, this is a disaster. And if you're looking at a complete rebuild, it isn't. But if you're looking at what they said, when they'll be competitive next year, the trades don't align with that at all, actually. Because I don't listen to ESPN all that much. I have no idea, but it kind of sounds like we just got run-of-the-mill style prospects, which apparently we have a ton of, that doesn't help us. And again, you don't want players to walk for nothing, but if you need a starting pitcher and Jordan Montgomery wants to re-sign here, then why not take the chance in the offseason and try to re-sign him?
Well, they may still do that.
Yeah, nothing's stopping them from doing that.
They could still do that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to... I don't like the moves.
But Plowek, let me ask you, were you expecting major talent from 2 rentals?
No, I thought they were going to package multiple players together. I think the tail end of that ESPN article is what I assumed they were going to do was, if they were going to trade Montgomery and Hicks, try to find a team that's able to, want both of those guys and get yourself a top 50 prospect in all of baseball instead of a top 10 prospect in a certain organization's farm system. And again, that's easier said than done with 2 guys that are, free agents at the end of this year. It's probably hard to get rid of a bunch of guys, but I thought the 2 separate trades, you get fleeced on both. I think packaging those guys together, you might have been able to get somebody that could help in a couple of years. But yes, I didn't expect to get a huge haul, but these guys aren't even supposed to help them next year, and that's what I at least thought they were going to get one guy.
Denton said Roby becomes the 4th best prospect in the organization.
And I think that's a little concerning, seeing as he was, the 12th or 13th in the Toronto one, right? Or went that Texas? There we go.
I believe he was Texas.
Okay.
Sagas was the 23rd best prospect in the Rangers organization.
Again, it's
usually
just
those
solid.
Guys don't even get to the major leagues, do they?
Solid guys, but I don't know. I just assumed they were going to get a little more.
I suppose you've given up on the Cardinals' chances this year of coming back and making a playoff.
Well, I think they have, but just the 2 trades right there, I think they have already given up. Well, who are they going to start now? With Montgomery out, I didn't even think about how they're going to finish this
year.
Great.
No, it could be a long last 2 months. They're going to play a third of the season full of meaningless games.
I think next year is going to be worse. So that's why I'm a little shocked by the...
It's going to take a huge offseason to turn it around in 1 year.
A couple $100 million in pitching, and I don't know if they're willing to do that. So it's just weird.
Yeah.
So what do they got left? Maybe Dylan Carlson, maybe Donovan, maybe Edmund, maybe...
Flaherty,
maybe DeYoung. Those guys still available, I guess?
Yeah, I'm sure they are. Yeah.
If DeYoung is still on this team, Flaherty especially, if you're not wanting to re-sign him, it makes 0 sense Flaherty would finish the year with the Cardinals and just head to free agency. It makes no sense for the Cardinals to have that. So he's got to be gone. There's just no way you can justify that you're tanking yet not getting rid of your best pitcher for something.
Well, yeah. It's going to be tough to see Montgomery clinch the 7th and deciding game of the World Series for the Texas Rangers. with some help from Stratton. You know that darn well that's what's going to happen.
Genesis Cabrera's off to a nice start in Toronto with 4 outings and no runs allowed.
Yeah, stunning. Got a left-hander who throws 98, 99 miles an hour. Somebody figured out how to teach him to throw a strike.
Oh, we got another catcher out of that deal, though.
Yeah, but he's like 13 years old or something. He's at 19.
He hit 12 home runs this past season at Afton.
Oh, he did. And then he got that short fence on field 3.
That's correct. And he took advantage of the short porch. TMA has acquired a yacker of a 4th producer in Ken Strode, a career journeyman and a ham and egg or lunchable eater, and the plowboy whose hot takes get a lot of swing and misses. It's a decent haul for the hefty Willie Springer. That's from the Wentzville Ween Peaker. A Willie reset out of nowhere a decade.
I think we won that trade, just the longevity. I had a few stints in the minors.
I'd like to be a
The
player.
rare Major League Baseball furlough.
I'd like to be a player and
I think the Pirates practice the furlough.
and read a description of yourself as a ham and egg.
I don't know if I've ever heard the term, honestly.
Yeah. Doug, do you have a problem?
Yes, I don't like that.
So Max Scherzer has not been very good, and the Mets got a top 50 MLB prospect. I'm starting to believe Mo sucks at his job. That's from Joe Boo's Rum.
Well,
the Mets picked up $35 million of that deal, and the Rangers have Eovaldi now on the DL, and Jacob deGrom's done for the year.
I don't think you can compare Scherzer to Montgomery.
No, Scherzer's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
But he has been...
Yeah, not good this year.
Plowboy, this isn't a video game where you trade Pokey Pipsqueak for 2001 Barry Bonds. That's from the 636.
Well, did I even say to get a major
almost
league
word for word what you
said? You
said.
did bring up Pokey Pipsqueak. Who wants that text?
What I said was I think a return of maybe a top 50 prospect in baseball is, I mean, that's not Barry Bonds. That's not even a major league ready player. That's a guy who may never play in the majors, but there is potential to that, whether it be age or what have you. Like these guys are journeymen that we got.
Wasn't Liberatore a top 50 prospect?
Again, and I was fine at the time with that bringing back. Now, we don't develop any of these guys to actually turn into anything. Usually they do that with other teams. But I would be just fine with a top 50 prospect that is a pitcher. I'm not asking for Barry Bonds. I'm not saying Ronald Acuna for Hicks and Montgomery. I'm not saying that. But I am saying the 11th and 14th prospects on Toronto doesn't seem like the haul that I thought, or at least anybody else thought that you would get for a player like Hicks. Just me.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. I didn't say what I expected, and the reality is, I just honestly I don't know what I suppose. All I can do is read, and then try to form some semblance of an opinion. And my initial reaction is matched by what Keith Law and the ESPN article written by Bradford Doolittle, Doug, and I know you know him well. You've hung out with Bradford.
What a great name.
And David Schoenfeld is. It seems like what they've gotten are relatively low ceiling return who may be able to do something, but this thing about being competitive in 2024, I actually think may be one of the biggest stumbling blocks for this trade deadline. And then if you mention that as your mission, I don't know if what they've done so far. I mean, here I want to emphasize this throughout the 3 hours of this show and the 1 hour on 101 ESPN today. It's not over, and there still is a day and a half here, and I would be shocked if there aren't multiple more current Major League Cardinals who are on other teams by Tuesday night after the deadline. But what I'm saying, just taking a step back, because to sit here and act like I know anything about any of these guys, I don't even know how to pronounce most of their names, much less who they are and what they do.
You gave it a good effort, though.
I like it. I diversified with about 8 pronunciations for each one.
I
And
feel
that
like
means I covered it.
You nailed John King. I mean, you were all over. You crushed it.
I feel good about that. The 28-year-old lefty who's arbitration eligible. But I feel like what the organization really needs to do is consider more of the rebuild approach than we're gonna be competitive for 2024. I just don't know how realistic that is when you look at it and you go, you got Miles Michaelis, and you've got now, over his last 4 starts, Steven Matz, but keep in mind he was a man in a bullpen a month ago. And and then you have to fill 3 spots. Plus, you talk about Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, but, their 2022s aren't necessarily something that you can expect in 2024. One's going to be 36, one's going to be 33. I realize they both may be Hall of Famers. I feel like Arenado's more likely than Goldschmidt, but either way, it doesn't matter. They're both incredibly talented ball players, but they're also not necessarily surging towards their prime. And so I don't understand that mindset on let's be competitive for 2024 when at best, as of this moment, again, it's not fair fully to talk about it, but then I don't think it's necessarily reasonable to think they're going to acquire a major league starter for 2024 from what they have left, unless they're going to deal somebody we don't anticipate them dealing. You have 40% of your rotation for next year, and there's going to be competition for Julio Urias and Aaron Nola, and if they do go down trying to get Jordan Montgomery back, and who else am I leaving out? Eduardo Rodriguez, Blake Snell. I know I'm leaving out other people, but
Giolito.
Giolito. So the point being, that's not been a strong suit, nor has it been a comfort spot for them. And so if you want to get big names and prospects with high ceilings, you have to part. That's the way a negotiation works. You don't act like, you don't float a report out that you're going to sign Jordan Hicks and then somebody goes, oh my God, we better give him somebody. That was so transparent. It was ridiculous. That was disappointing. The Nolan Arenado thing, that was that whole 48 hours to me. I don't know if I feel like I might be on an island with how strange that whole thing was. The Cardinals were clearly considering it, which is why they didn't issue a statement saying that they weren't considering it. There were these demands being made for the Cardinals to John Mozeliak say we are not trading him. You know why he didn't say it? Because he was considering trading him. I mean, I don't. If you agree with me on the Jordan Hicks bluff, then I would assume you're operating from the same mindset as to why John Mozeliak didn't come out and say anything. Because they were. It's like I remember saying to Joe Strauss back during the Kevin Demoff thing, another thing the LA Times was right on. I said, I just don't get why he doesn't come out and say that they're not moving. And I remember Strauss, it was just me and him on the phone. He goes, well, that's because they're planning on moving. Now, granted, that was 2012 or 13. So that was why there wasn't a denial. Sorry, they were considering doing it. But there may have been a reason if the Dodgers were going to give them so much that was something they should consider. Nolan Arenado is not 25-year-old Babe Ruth. He's a 33-year-old third baseman who is not necessarily trending upward. I realize he's a fan favorite and a great ball player and a Hall of Famer, but if the Los Angeles Dodgers are going, hell, we might be Arenado away from a World Series and winning a World Series in a non-COVID year, then maybe they overpay, and that's how you get a big-time return. But it also may reduce the probability of you winning a World Series in 2024. And that is why I think this thing about we're going to be competitive in 2024, yeah, they might be able to be because of the division they're in. But I think what it does is I think it hamstrings their moves. And I don't know if that's a Bill DeWitt thing, saying I don't want to go into a season where we're kind of rebuilding because we have these two corner infielders. But God, one's 36 in a month and a free agent after next year. To me, it's obvious you trade him. It's obvious you trade him. And maybe they will. Hell, I don't know. It's not over yet. And I think it's worthy of at least considering Arenado being traded, as I think they were doing. But somehow they got their asses lit up where it became fake news in St. Louis, and that the LA Times was somehow running a recruiting campaign for the Dodgers, which was pretty insulting to the writers of the Los Angeles Times, I thought, for those who were insinuating that. So from my standpoint, I can't comment on these guys from the Blue Jays organization and the Rangers organization. I can plagiarize thing and give you a take if you want, but it's a bunch of BS. What I can tell you is from a macro standpoint, I think what the Cardinals' strategy is for 2024 is going to be awfully difficult to live up to, considering you have Miles Mikolas, who's an above-average pitcher, and Steven Matz, who has a wide delta under contract, and then who else? So there you go. So what are you going to do? Go out and sign Nola and Snell? I mean, God bless. Good luck. I just think that they're setting themselves up for a very high bar to reach based on what they currently have, unless there's something that they're about to do that I don't necessarily see them doing. And I think that is short-sighted. Now I have given you my take, and now you are welcome to give your take on my take, which is fun because now we're exchanging takes. Isn't it fun?
Let me ask you.
It is.
Because I don't know how it works. With the Cardinals, well, I'm not a GM, so I wouldn't know what goes on, but would the Cardinals try to work out a deal with the Dodgers, say, okay, we'll take this, you want Arenado, this is what we want, and if they agreed, then they ask Arenado to waive his no trade?
Yes.
Okay.
In my opinion, that's how it would be.
Okay.
And you have that, it was a lot of semantics that was going on. Derek Gould tried to get John Mozeliak to comment. Yeah. Gould, did you see that Doug Gould tweets John Mozeliak said he wasn't available because he was on the phone? So I enjoyed that. Well, so then Arenado says he'll talk about the game on, what was it, Friday or Saturday night? I can't remember which one it was. Saturday, I believe. Hell, I don't know, Friday or Saturday. And nobody wanted to ask him anything about the game. And then he left, and then he came back, to his credit, and then answered questions. But he didn't say, I will not waive my no-trade clause. That is how you put things to bed. John Mozeliak put it to bed when he said, we are not trading Nolan Arenado. But he didn't do it until, what was that, yesterday or Saturday? Either way, he did do it. But they didn't do it before then. They said, it's, we'll take a look at everything. But and listen, if people don't want to believe me, it's fine. I don't really give a damn. I know how this crap works, though. And if you know you're not going to do something, you can confidently say it. If you want to, play with people's balls and give little, half-truths and stuff and cryptic messages to try to satisfy people. And I get it. It's a tough spot because it's not going to be a popular move to do this stuff. But they're not close. That's the issue. They're not close. And so I think that they have a flawed mission statement of trying to be competitive for 2024 because it's going to be awfully difficult to achieve that unless they just plan on spending a crap load of money. But we've seen a couple organizations do that, and one of them may be trading Justin Verlander today and already traded Max Scherzer, and the other one is, in the mix with possibly trading Blake Snell in the Padres. So,
and the Rangers went out and spent a fortune on Jacob deGrom, and he hadn't been much good to them either. So just spending a lot of money is not always the answer. It could be when they talk to reporters and talk to us or anybody, they just don't want to speak in absolutes because things change.
Right, 100%.
Mozeliak may say, we are not trading Arenado, and his phone may ring today with the Dodgers and go, oh, wait a minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, there's plenty to be critical of John Mozeliak for, but there were these, demands that he, that he issue a statement saying we're not trading him. Well, why?
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Story.
Why would you do that? And then the LA Times were playing a role as like a PR wing of the Dodgers trying to recruit Nolan Arenado. It's like, do you think this guy just made this thing up? I mean, is that really where we are? But hey, if that's what you want to believe because it doesn't suit your internal belief, that's fine. I realize there's a cottage industry for that stuff. Arenado's in a tough spot, and it's totally understood. Arenado might not have said anything, but his agent might have said something. Who knows? It's an awkward spot. You don't want to say, yes, that is true. I would go to the Dodgers. Because then that pisses off the fan base if the Cardinals don't work something out with the Dodgers. Who knows? I don't know. What I do know is what the Cardinals currently have, and that is a team that is not close to being competitive in 2024 as it stands. Weird things can happen, of course, but from that standpoint, with a free agent first baseman who's the defending MVP, I would look at trading him. And I don't think it's outlandish to consider trading Arenado, although I understand not doing that because he's younger and he's under contract for 4 more years. It's a totally different circumstance than Goldschmidt. But this team is not close with its starting staff as it is, much less to get 3 new ones in. And that's counting on Miles Michaelis and Steven Matz to being a team that's going to be competing for a pennant, from my standpoint.
Would you agree that in order to get a starting pitcher from somebody else's rotation, you're going to have to trade? I mean, if you're talking Goldschmidt and Arenado, you're probably trading them to a team that's got a shot at winning the World Series or going far in the playoffs. They're not going to give you one of their better pitchers because they're trying to win. Right. You would have to trade a bunch of prospects to a crappy team
to get maybe their one or two.
Possibly, yeah.
But the Dodgers do have Dustin May, who's a great prospect, has shown something. I do believe he's injured currently. So I'm not saying that would be the only piece you get, but that's a scenario where the Dodgers give up a really good pitcher. Doesn't hurt them this year, help the Cardinals next year, which is really what you're looking for. Again, I don't think that's a straight-up trade. You can't trade Nolan Arenado for somebody who's not going to be pitching this year. But Dustin May and a couple of their prospects and their farm system is loaded. I would trade Nolan Arenado. I would consider it, especially with the haul that you may get back. It's going to suck seeing him win a World Series for the Dodgers or get close, but that guy deserves to play meaningful baseball games, and I think the organization at least owes him a favor to send him to a team that he wants to go to, obviously with the no-trade clause. I would get rid of Nolan Arenado and just start completely fresh if you get a guy like that.
Well, it doesn't matter because John Mozeliak at this point now has said that is not happening.
Yeah. Well, I meant more than that, but that would be a key piece for me. I mean, he's done great in the playoffs.
And so, therefore, I would imagine that Goldschmidt wouldn't be going anywhere. But I think that if there's a move where you want to get high-ceiling players, that, I think, would be the move. I don't know what else. Do you see anything, Doug, that you think could return? I mean, Flaherty, I don't think is necessary. I mean, they're going to get some.
They almost got a high-ender this offseason in Murphy, but apparently they didn't want to part with people like Lars Nootbaar. So there are players that maybe don't show up on the trade radar right away who you think are tradable that could lead you to get a starting pitcher, I suppose. They've got some useful parts. I mean, anyone would want Donovan. Anyone would probably want Nootbaar. Now, whether those guys can give you a solid difference-making starting pitcher, I don't know. But I think anybody's on the table right now.
But I'm talking about who do you think that's realistic on the table to get a high return? That's what I'm saying. My point being, I think the only ones that are going to get a high return that may excite the fan base. And again, I think we talked about this on both TMA and Balloon Party, that no matter what, the Cardinals are going to be acquired in a weird spot, first time in a generation, or first time certainly in the DeWitt ownership for that matter, in which they're in this spot, and being in this spot as a seller means your return are players who the fan base has never heard of. Usually you can pronounce their names. Yeah. In this case, you can pronounce 20% of them. Yeah. But that's the nature of the beast. So when you trade recognizable names for unrecognizable ones, that's part of the deal. I mean, you can look at some of these deals that are done at the trade deadline, and there are stories written about them a decade later. Like, can you believe for this rental, was it John Smoltz for Doyle Alexander?
Yeah.
Bagwell might have been one. Do you remember some of these that you look? You don't know who these guys are at the time. The difference is now minor leagues are covered much more intently than they were back in the Smoltz, Doyle, Alexander trade days.
Can you imagine the research a team has to do to know about all the players in all the organizations? I mean, I think there's like 3,000 people in the minor leagues, aren't there? Something like that. If every team has like 100 players in their organization, there's 30 teams. You got to know all 3,000 some odd players enough. You got to know them well enough that you can trade your own guys for some of these people. So I'm sure they did a ton of research to think that the guys that they got actually have a chance to play for them.
Sure, and their scouting department's done a hell of a job. It's been player development and then assessing who to trade and who to keep. Tim, why would they come out and say Arenado won't be traded if they explored it? Well, because after they explored it, they decided they weren't going to trade him because the offer wasn't good enough. I hope my answer's straightforward enough, but if it's not, I'll take follow-up questions. That's from Deluxie. Plowhawk, is that your guy?
Guy is a very strong term, but yeah, he is a guy that kind of got under my skin, but he's a good dude.
Fair question. I'm happy to answer. But do you understand? Did you guys understand what I mean by that? Like they explored it. They didn't think the juice would be worth the squeeze. And so then at that point, Mozeliak could then issue definitively that they wouldn't trade him. So one had to take place before he could do the other, which totally makes sense.
I think the problem Mozeliak has when he makes statements like we're looking toward 2024 is yesterday's a perfect example. There were no giveaways this weekend. Cubs are in town. They didn't need to give anything. No giveaways this weekend. average 43,000 a game.
Yeah.
So if you say we're rebuilding next year, we're looking at 25, 26. Well, you probably lost a lot of those people.
Oh yeah, they don't want to say that.
Yeah, so that's
Cardinal fans don't want to hear that we got no shot next year.
That's that whole we're looking at 2024. Well, so far what you got, you're not. It's still early. You got a day and a half, but.
Well, Zedlock pretty much backed himself in the corner. This may be regurgitating what Tim said earlier, but you're going to have to spend money this offseason on starting pitching, and they don't really love to do that. But you're going to have to get an Aaron Nola. You're going to have to get somebody like that, and. To say the fans don't understand that they're not going to be competitive next year, look at the roster, look at the rotation. I don't know how you look at it. Again, they're, a little over 24 hours into the trade deadline. There's a whole offseason next year. There's a whole trade deadline next year. So I realize this team now probably will look a lot different, this time next year. But to start out the trade deadline how it was, and you still need to add 3 starting pitching with the Bailey situation, are you really wanting to lock down a guy for $180 million? I don't see him doing that.
Yeah, that's that variable that is, to me, really relevant, but a tough one to get them to acknowledge if it's a factor in their decisions. I would keep an eye, and this is nobody's reported, if it is, I haven't read it. The Orioles are in a weird spot. I mean, they are a legitimate World Series contender, but they are beat up at starting pitching. I would think that there could be a match there with the Cardinals and Flaherty. The Mariners strike me as a team that's got a bunch of young pitching that would make sense if the Cardinals might go position player, from the Carlson to Young, and I don't know if they would trade Edman or Donovan, and they got to be packaged up. The Mariners are in that weird spot, and they have a bunch of young pitching. I don't know on the Orioles' young pitching front if it makes sense. They have a bunch of young position players. But I would expect Jack Flaherty's gone. It's just a matter of what is Jack Flaherty's value on the open market to buyers. He's had 4 scoreless starts since mid-May, but he's a rental, and he's a rental that I don't know. I don't know how teams view him if they're putting in a playoff rotation. But the Orioles are really in a tough spot. They just sent Tyler Wells down to Double-A to give him a break, and their pitching staff is made up of a bunch of young pitchers who have already surpassed their innings load from the previous year in their career, and they've got this great offense, but that one seems to make sense. And then from a position player standpoint, in exchange for pitching, young pitching, that could be the Mariners. But again, I don't know if the Mariners are going to part with young pitching prospects for who would be remaining from the Cardinals unless Edman, Donovan, one of those two really excites them in Seattle. So there's the analysis of what I believe is remaining out there, unless there's a sneaker with Goldschmidt or somebody we don't see coming. Your thoughts, 314-881-TMA5. Call in 636-9004-TMA and email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Design Air is the official HVAC provider of TMA. And if you are running into air conditioning problems, all you got to do is go to DesignAirService.com and work with Seth Goldcamp and his staff at Design Air Heating and Cooling. Doug is a client. I am a client. And if you run into problems in July or August with your air conditioning, you can become a client very quickly. You just go to DesignAirService.com. Seth Goldcamp, he is 4th generation, and he prides himself on carrying on the tradition of his family, and that is no upselling. Diagnose a problem, fix it, be truthful with the customer. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at DesignAirService.com. Jackson, Doug, tell me about your hair.
Oh, well, I'm 33 days out now from my FUE procedure.
How's your peach fuzz?
I don't know if you can see my peach fuzz.
Oh, I do.
Front. A little bit of peach fuzz. It's still very early. They say 3 months before you see much of anything, and 6 to 8 months before you see a lot, and the finished product in a year. But they will take care of you at St. Louis Hair Restoration. They have lots of different solutions depending on your age and your baldness level, whether it's the front of your hair or the back of your hair. Dr. Palenga's been doing it all for many years. He's got some great recommendations from people on the website. If you check out stlouishairrestoration.com, you can see some of the before and after pictures. They really do a fantastic job. I can tell you, I had this done late June. No pain involved. A little bit of swelling when it was done, but some people don't have any swelling at all. I had just a little bit, and there was zero pain involved. And if this is something that's bothered you for a long time, and you always look at your hair and you say, why do my hair have to look like this? Is it going to look like this forever? Well, it will until you do something about it. And this is a permanent solution that they have at St. Louis Hair Restoration. Jackson has also had a little something done.
Yeah, they consulted me. I went in, talked to them, and they said, hey, how about you take some of that finasteride? It's really easy. Just take one pill every morning, super easy. And then also, here's this laser cap we're going to put on your head. And you just put it on 6 minutes a night, super easy. You forget it's there for a second. It kind of looks like a batting helmet, but it's really not difficult to use, and you just throw it on there for 6 minutes, and that helps with the regrowth while the finasteride helps curb the loss. So all that combined, hopefully I'll be eligible for an FUE procedure coming up in the near future, so we can all look like Fabio, so we can all look like Clooney, and we'll be just some naughty boys, and it's all what you can do.
I like naughty boys.
Yeah, I think we all
naughty
like
boys.
Well, I think.
What else is there?
Yeah, you're trying to sex sells, Doug. So visit stlouishairrestoration.com.
All right, that makes sense. That's where I went.
Naughty boys need love too. All right, Plowhawk, we have some sound from the Cardinal president of baseball operations on these trade acquisitions. You tell me what we have. Doug, we will learn.
Okay, I'd like to. Hit the lever,
just
please,
go
Bob.
from the job him talking about trading Monty and Stratton, if that works.
All right, sure. Perfect.
Now, obviously, this is a day that we were hoping would never happen in the sense of having to break up our club, having to focus on the future. But over the course of the last 2 weeks, we were really taking a hard look at what the trading deadline could do for us. You've heard me state in the past that we were looking to acquire pitching, and that was certainly one of our goals. But we were also looking to find talent. Obviously, this year has not gone as we planned, so we really want to focus on what 2024 and beyond would look like. And we felt like as we had players that were attractive to other teams, we had players that were becoming free agents, and we felt like the timing, albeit unique for the St. Louis Cardinals, we had to do this. And it's not a happy moment, but we certainly are excited about the future opportunity we were able to acquire today.
Okay.
Very solid take.
Well, he said he's excited about it.
He sounded excited. Or he sounded like he was getting a colonoscopy. I couldn't tell which one.
Greetings from the Grand Tetons, perfect temps and not a Margaritaville or Bubba Gumpco in sight. Hashtag blessed. What is that? Is this just a vacation postcard we were sent by the Hunchback of Von Castle?
Yeah. We like to get people's postcards.
Let's see. Kevin's brother Jack Demoff says Michaelis is the obvious piece that gets you something of significance from a desperate trade partner. That's Kevin's brother Jack Demoff.
Well, then they're even in worse shape for pitching.
I would be shocked, but hell, I don't know.
You going to trade from your weakness?
Guys, we got a Banty Rooster in the YouTube chat. Jackson, do we have a Banty Rooster in the YouTube chat?
Yes.
What's the problem?
I'm going to look right now.
They're not.
Jackson, can you heat up some nachos in that laser helmet? That doesn't seem Banty.
No, if you scroll up a little bit, you'll see.
We got a new friend.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Who's our friend?
Let's see what we got. Doug, his name, his quote-unquote name is Aaron Sitzies? Is it Sitzies?
I don't know who it is.
You don't know! Pipe down! Half-baked!
I think that might be me.
Half-baked.
I'm too baked to know if that is me.
Nate in Tallahassee's calm this morning. There will be plenty of pitchers in free agency. How about Nate in Tallahassee? LMAO. Whoever said Newt was a Hall of Famer? You and your echo in Merrimack Caverns.
Who said Newt?
I don't know.
Is that even brought up? Was Newt even brought up this morning?
I threw out his name as a guy that they didn't want to trade last year.
But you called him a Hall of Famer.
No, I didn't.
And when were you at Merrimack Caverns?
Yeah,
I've never been to Merrimack Caverns. I used to see Jay Randolph do the commercials for Merrimack
cool
Caverns and wanted to go.
Every day.
I have not been there.
Yeah.
He's yelling at people in the chat. He's not mad at us now. He is actually Tuxie. Jason Tuxie.
Oh, yeah, yell at someone else.
He's getting hit.
Aaron Sitzi? Doug, do you pronounce it Sitzies?
I've never tried to pronounce it.
LMAO. The fact that Tim is believing his own BS is awesomeness. You did read the supposed return for Nolan Arenado, right? Max Muncy, and as you and your co would say, a bunch of no names. I'm not saying that the speculated return for the Dodgers, Zach, I'm saying is the reason I didn't comment on that. All I'm saying is the Cardinals were considering trading Nolan Arenado to the Dodgers, and I would bet everything I have on it. I know I can't bet it because there's no way to prove it, but that's why John Mozeliak did not issue the statement he made until 36 hours ago, whatever the hell it was. And that, by the way, in my opinion, that's the right thing to do. You shouldn't close the door on anything, especially if a team is dying to get one of your players and your team is in the spot that they're in. So hopefully that helps explain to Aaron Sitzies. Is it Sitzies, Doug?
I don't know. I've never heard the name.
Why did a guy wake up in the morning and just be miserable? Maybe he doesn't like his life. His wife is yelling at him.
He's trying to make it.
You're making some massive deductions.
Whatever.
This show.
Well, whenever you wake up and you're a miserable person, you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is you just go to some radio station's YouTube and just start trashing everybody. What a life.
Dotem just appeared and asked, when is it okay to kiss a guy?
No.
So that's changed.
Don't get us off track.
That's changed the discussion now.
I emailed that drop to a listener this morning.
A listener wanted it just to have like a ringtone?
He DM'd me over the weekend about wanting the Krispy Kreme, when is it okay to kiss a guy? Didn't ask why. I felt like I didn't want to go down that road and didn't want to continue that conversation.
Never ask why.
Simply just asked for his email.
Yeah.
Shot it to him this morning about 5 a.m.
You should have seen my DMs after he played the Wind of the Beehole.
Oh, I bet they
TikTok.
were begging.
People really wanted to see who was talking in that video.
They like to put a
strange.
face to the voice, though. These listeners.
Yeah.
You tell us how it's like to wake up miserable, Iggy. That's from the 8:30.
Oh, no.
Damn. That's a shot.
You don't wake up miserable, do you?
No, and if I did, I wouldn't go on some message board or YouTube and start yelling at people.
No, I wouldn't.
It feels like it's so early. I guess I give takes this early, too. I'm going to retract whatever I was just about to say.
Let's hear it. Let me put on the oven.
I think I would have thrown myself under the bus. I go, who has takes at 7 a.m.? But I was also giving a take at 7 a.m.
Yes,
so
you have takes.
I don't want to.
And if we started at 6, you'd have takes at 6.
Yeah, and 5. I was here early. I was ready to give takes.
New Sound Story general manager Peter Epp, Doug, was here at 5:30 hanging out with the Plowhawk.
Fantastic guy.
First day at work.
First day?
For Peter. God bless him. Yeah.
5:30.
Brought me coffee.
He brought you coffee.
Yeah, what a fine gentleman.
You're a fan, Jackson.
Huge fan.
Why are you a fan of this boy?
He's very ambitious, very driven, very nice, kind, good attitude, and he brought me coffee, which I walked in here, just didn't have the energy I needed. He handed me that coffee, pounded it, now I'm ready to rock.
No.
Wow, look at you.
Coffee.
Yeah.
Pounding it. Yeah, I like that.
That's what I did with it. I drank it quickly.
Okay.
Well, he's a great guy. We're excited to have him start, so welcome aboard to Peter Epp. And he was in here getting, like a bunch of sound stories from the Plowhawk that are saved in the system?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is? God bless him. Yeah, he's good people. I'll be spending all afternoon with him. Me, him, and Mark Mantovani. Doug, that's who we ponied up at the table here.
It's quite a team.
For day one of Peter Epp, who brings coffee in here. And
that's his job,
in the morning is to bring coffee to Jack.
When he texted me last night saying he'll be here at 5:30, I felt like 6 was a comfortable time. 5:30 is that's a big operation to get up and around. Yeah. Great. Peter Epp. Met him a couple times. He actually knows Madison and the family really well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I think they lived
across the street. Right?
Yeah, they lived around the neighborhood by Doug as well. So
in the Barnoff?
Well, they were in the back.
This is before
they weren't allowed on the estate and grounds. On Vaughn's Grove, they were not allowed on.
We do have coffee in the back.
You have coffee in the back?
Yeah, Jackson says he really needs some coffee. We do have some back there.
No doubt, but it's such a kind gesture that it tastes better. It tastes better when someone does something nice for you.
On Peter's first day, he has been to the show earlier than I have ever been to the show in 19 years.
We'll break him with that.
I was very surprised when he actually showed up at 5:30. Like, damn.
Peter Epp is a stick on the ice rink, too. Skated with him on Saturday. That's from the Farmington Farm Boy. Doug, tell me about his skating.
I don't know anything about his skating. I just understand he's a stick.
Tim, what's the hog situation on this Peter Epp?
Oh, God, they're already taking shots at him.
He's not even associated with this company. Tim, is Peter Rep fair game? I feel like that's a gray area for us. That's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves, who also says, hey, Tim, I'm filing a class action lawsuit. Wow. Against Ameren for damages. I had a less popular MFF lined up for you Saturday night. Name your figure. That's from the recovering alcoholic from Belleville and Webster Groves. Wow.
Name your figure.
I guess what he wants to file the litigation for. And this is going to be against Ameren. Doug, is your power out at all? Did your power
It was out, yeah, for a few hours. It's back now.
I'm telling you. Iggy, did you see that storm coming? I assume you did.
Yeah, but nobody asked me about it.
I don't know that you saw it coming. We could have used a heads up.
Nobody asked me about a storm over the weekend. I will tell you one thing. I was gonna go outside, and I said, I looked at it was 105 heat index right before that storm, right around.
Is that right? Really?
Yeah, because somebody was going to the Cardinal game, and I kind of kidded. I said, "Well, you may want to bring a jacket. Might be a chill in the air." Then I looked at the heat index at the time. It was 105.
That's not jacket weather.
No, but that storm came through. I was kidding. But then the storm came through. After the storm went through, the heat index was 75.
How about that, Doug?
The temperature was 75 and the heat index was 70. 30 degrees it dropped after that storm. So maybe he did need a jacket.
I was out on the golf course with my 5-year-old, and it was a beautiful day. We headed home. I went down in the basement, and our head pro texted me. He goes, "Hey, you guys probably should come in now." I didn't go out in the basement because of the storm. It was a sunny day, and I went downstairs and was just hanging out. And he knew our head pro was out there with his son, and he goes, "You guys could probably come in now." And I'm like, was that meant for me? Well, the storm had come in that quickly that he was saying, you got to get off the course because it's dangerous. I had no idea it was even raining so a power line went down right around our home. So a lot of Kirkwood, I guess, is still without power, is my understanding.
Oh, yeah.
So the reason the recovering alcoholic is saying that he had this less popular MFF set up for me is we were going to dine at Olive and Oak on Saturday night, and then I think Olive and Oak's power went out. But I think it started back up like at 6:30 or 7. But at that point, we had called an audible. Doug, you want to know where we go? You want to take a guess?
Oh, can I have initials?
CK.
CK. Chief Ketchups.
California Kitchen?
Cooking Cookie. Second letter, first word, please.
I.
City Confectionery.
Nope.
Third letter, please.
T.
City Copperman's. Fourth letter, please.
I.
Citibank. You went to Citibank to eat?
Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane's. Oh, that was easy. Okay.
He just waved to the gallery like Phil Mickelson.
I do Mickey. What did Mickey
Mickey
Carroll
did this.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the champion.
In 19 years of this program, perhaps, and I'll take all texts and all emails that can challenge this, the strangest vision in the show's history was Mickey Carroll in an SUV full of just like quite a posse of a guy who would just fall asleep on the field, and his driver, who I believe his estate later sued, if memory serves. He's had the driver stop the car, roll down the window to no one in particular, and then stuck his arms like a boxing champion from the 1920s, and then the car just moved on. And me and Martin looked at that and go, what the hell did we just witness?
Didn't you do that spring training one year? You walked
That's
in
what happened. It was like spring training.
Yeah. Oh. That's what they used to do.
It's the strangest.
It's a nice gesture, though. And you don't see much of it. I'd like to see more of it.
He would do it on
like
the fan
a conquering hero.
Mm-hmm.
I did it.
He would do it on the fan show because he'd always go to every fan show and Gould would point him out. And Mickey Carroll's here. And
I like the gesture, frankly.
So we're dining at Citizen Kane's, no MFFs to speak of, which is why I guess we will file the class action lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's no bad weather. It's 7:30. Well, all of a sudden, the power goes out there.
Wow.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. And
had you eaten yet?
We had. We're on the earlier dining plan now because Anna Marie's parents had both of our sons. So One of them was returning, the 1-year-old, and the 5-year-old was staying out there for the evening, but we had to get home, so we had to go to eat earlier. But we were eating, and then the steaks were probably being cooked, and then the place deals with the power outage. So I don't know what wound up happening, because I was back at home by 8 o'clock, because I live the life of a hustler now, where I go and have dinner at 7 o'clock, and I'm home by 8 o'clock, and just pleasured myself by 8:15. Just being real transparent with the audience. I think it's important. I'll mention that on Balloon Party, too.
I ate at 4, so don't.
You have dinner at 4 now? Really?
Yeah, I eat at 4.
Stop.
But you don't have lunch.
No.
Okay, that's
so you must be starving.
Yeah,
at 4 o'clock.
I'm hungry
That's
until I eat at
different.
4. And then I got time for dessert at like 7.
That's how you've remained so svelte.
Live.
Is by eating so early.
Yeah, I don't get hungry, so.
You really don't?
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for this nanner. Look at the girth on this nanner, YouTube boys.
If I get
Aaron
hungry,
Sitsies.
You know, I might make a sandwich at noon or something if I get hungry.
Well, that counts as lunch.
But I don't do that every day. I'm not hungry every day at lunch. If I am, I make a peanut butter and jelly or something.
Guys, the best visual in the show's history is Mickey Carroll, Timberfake, and Rudy going for a car ride with producer Joe interviewing him. That's from Angel of Morning After. I thought that was a wonderful conversation, but as far as unique vision, Mickey Carroll exiting spring training like a 1920s boxing champion, to no one in particular, for my money, is the best. Mickey Carroll took a ride with Timberfake Rudy and Prod Joe. He interrupted Rudy and Timberfake discussing stinky fingers to give an FDR impression. It was magic. He did.
Yeah,
He talked about Eleanor Roosevelt.
That video is like a fever dream.
God.
Do we have that in the drops, Plowsy?
I don't think we
Eleanor
do.
Roosevelt, it involved Eleanor.
If we would have, and maybe it exists, maybe Jay Boyd knows about this, because he was working with us at that time, when we had Bree Olson right in the midst, I think, of the Charlie Sheen thing, judging the Girl Next Door of the Year contest with Rich Gould, Mickey Carroll, Rudy, Felipe Lopez.
Yeah, he was there, the shortstop.
At the big time.
And then somebody left, I say somebody, left their one hitter up on the stage. And that caused an issue, mainly because the person who left it, you wouldn't necessarily expect it. And then Bree Olson got sideways with the Girl Next Door competitors, Doug. She was unhappy that we requested she stop giving them negative scores in front of 500 people.
Right.
She left the venue, bent over, and then took a picture of her birthday hole and said, "This is for you inside SPL."
And then went back to the hotel and ran up a bar tab, I believe.
That's right. Big night. Big night.
Did Rudy go on a date with her?
No, somebody really did go on a date with her.
I thought Rudy went.
They go with Bree Olson or Caden. I can't remember.
I think it was Bree Olson.
Was it Bree Olson? Tim, the runner-up, is the guy with the tramp stamp playing volleyball at Wave Taco. Doug, a gentleman with a tramp stamp.
I don't remember who that would have been.
There is a video, and again, here come the text. I'm turning this into me.
Okay.
I'll just, fair warning, get ready.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But there is a video out there that we did, I believe we did it for the fan show, where we went out to a 590 golf tournament for the day, and me and Mickey Carroll did a video acting like we were trying to play golf. It's pretty funny. And at the end of it, I pushed him out of the cart, but we had...
You pushed him out of the cart?
No. But at the time, Crimson Callahan was only like 10. And he was out there, and he had his like plus fours on, those little knickers that Payne Stewart wore. And we took off Mickey Carroll's blue jacket that he always wore and put it on Crimson. I put him in the cart, and it was kind of like a far shot. And I said, well, if you don't like it, get out. And I pushed Crimson out, and he went rolling down the hill.
Oh.
It looked like Mickey Carroll.
Sounds violent.
But it's a funny video. If you maybe Google on YouTube, Iggy Mickey Carroll golf, it'll probably come up.
Threw him out of the car. Yeah. Heard about it before.
Yeah,
That's
I
from the
told you it was
birthday
coming,
honk.
so, no, man,
I don't know
I told
what
you it was
I heard.
coming.
Here comes the Crimson Callahan story. That's from Hedonism Chuck.
Oh.
I
The
told you,
listeners
get
like
ready.
to play this game now.
I haven't heard that story.
I told you, get ready.
It's somewhat recent, but in one of our final TMA Lives at Hot Shots, a gentleman with a polished mustache came up to us and said, and showed us a picture of him at the International Boy Slut competition.
Oh.
And that was really jarring.
There's a real competition of that?
He was wearing a sash that said International Boy Slut 2019 or something.
So every year they
very confusing. Yeah, I guess they stopped for the pandemic. But that was
trying to impress Lisa Ann or what?
Jesus, ye old cut and color. The only thing that can make that story more interesting is if someone walked by with a fake fart machine. That's from Shrimply Pibbles. What's the name of that Instagram account that you enjoy?
It's Gilstrap. I was watching some Gilstraps. The funny part of that
Dinner at 4, Gilstrap at 4:30.
Well, it just pops up my phone. I start scrolling videos, and Gilstrap always comes up. The funny is just watching the expressions on the people he walks by. That's the whole point of it. He'll walk by and fart, and he'll say something like, "Oh, shouldn't have wore white today."
No.
But then they'll keep the camera on the people that he passed, and it's just funny to watch these people's reaction.
And you watch that often?
Yeah, at least once a day I'll throw some Gilstrap
Once a day
on.
you see it.
Well, it comes up on my phone. I don't know if I can watch it now because, I did something this weekend that I've never done in my life.
What'd you do?
I cracked my phone.
Oh, no, that's a bad beat. What happened, baby? What happened?
It fell off the table and went that way. I was outside.
You got a screen protector on that, right? Isn't that or is that not?
I think
Is that the actual phone that's
I pulled it off. Yeah, that's the phone. It's just,
That's a bummer.
it's ugly looking. I don't like my phone looking like that.
Yeah, that'll break your heart when your phone cranks.
Can you fix that?
Yes.
Can you? Take it
Yeah,
to AT&T.
there are
fix
stores
it?
that fix it. There are places to go to
I'll
fix
take it to AT&T. Yeah, I finally took that peeling off there because it was starting to bubble up, and I didn't like the look of it, so I just peeled it off. And it didn't protect anything because there's nothing on there.
No.
So anyway,
Yeah, that was
I don't know if I can watch.
But
I don't
that
know
was
if I
a
can
good
watch.
story. Yeah,
I
as
don't
the
know if I
stories
can watch
go, that
videos.
was a good one.
I don't know if I can watch videos on them because that kind of takes away from me looking.
You can watch YouTube videos on your television.
I know.
You have a smart TV?
Yeah, I've watched internet stuff on my TV.
All right, well, you can watch it there.
Internet stuff.
Yeah, I won't.
Just sounds like my mom
Well,
would
I won't
say that.
I watch some YouTube stuff, like music on there. I won't watch porn on there because if I get a virus on my TV, that's kind of bad.
I don't know. That enhances it.
TVs have viruses? I guess they could.
Yeah, anything that with software.
Yeah,
But,
if you're on the internet and I pull up porn and I happen to get a virus, I don't want it on my TV.
Well, maybe stop.
What is
watching
it? Just
so
like
much.
Rick Astley? It's just on your TV now? What does a virus on your TV look like?
It's Rick Astley.
I don't know what would happen if I'm watching Netflix and all of a sudden some Spank Master video comes up or something.
Spank Master.
That
Who
would
was
be-
that name in the text in?
It'll just make your TV run slower. I do think it would be a good bit to video you trying to get porn up on your television.
I think it'd be even better like he has like a family game night and they're just having the TV on in the background. All of a sudden they're just like black.com comes up with like the gangbang. And okay. It's a virus.
I was watching. It wasn't a porn. On my patio last night. I was just sitting in my breezeway, actually. I don't sit on my patio anymore.
What's the difference in a breezeway and a patio?
And how you started that, you weren't.
Well, I have a
looking at
patio
technically
outside that's
porn.
covered by trees, and I don't sit out there anymore because I just get pelted with bird crap.
Oh.
So I have around the corner where I come out of my door is the breezeway because there's a nice breeze goes through there. And I just set up a little patio in there with a couple of tables and 4 chairs.
Oh, did you?
So I was sitting
Come
out
here,
there,
big fella.
and I was watching. And I do this quite often if I'm watching a TV show. I was watching NYPD Blue, which I haven't seen in forever.
Wow.
Jesus.
Current show.
Yeah, but it's on Hulu.
NYPD.
It's on Hulu.
That guy with like the big short guy with the mustache.
Yeah,
bald.
Dennis Franz. But I've always enjoyed NYPD Blue, and I said, no, I just watch some NYPD Blue. The one girl on there, the blonde, her name is Andrea Thompson.
Who's got to be 70 now,
Well,
right?
she's 60 now, but she was good looking. And when I see somebody that I find attractive on a TV show, I always Google and see if they're nude.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
So I typed up Andrea Thompson nude.
Yeah.
And sure enough, she's been in like 5 movies before she got an NYPD Blue, naked. And
Oh,
one of them
actually.
is full frontal.
Oh.
So I think it's a site called A to Z Nude. So it came up and I started watching it.
What happened to Mr. Skin?
Is this a live read?
Well, I can't. I just Googled it. And it came up, and one of them is full frontal. So it's a video of this movie. It's like a minute 30. So I'm watching it, and my next door neighbor comes out of the house, but it's not porn, and there's no talking. It's just a nude scene.
Well, sure.
So I'm watching it, and then it just stops in the middle of it. Here comes a 5-second ad before you can fit. Guys, are you jerking alone? Oh my God! And she walks out. What are you watching? I go, it's not porn. It's just a porn thing popped up here. It's a
This
porn
is a
app.
female neighbor of yours.
Yeah.
So was she repulsed?
No.
Turn it on.
But this porn commercial shouldn't have popped up from me watching a nude scene.
No, I can't imagine how that could have
It did,
happened.
just out of nowhere. Guys, you jerking alone?
Hey.
Well, that's usually when you jerk, when you're alone.
Oh.
Arbor Day has a thought. I'd like to sponsor Ken's So Anyway segment where he emerges from his 21-hour Hoosier isolation chamber needing human interaction, and with nothing of significance to share, he just talks about either a TV show he's watched 3 seasons of since he saw you guys last, or a tale of Greg Bickelbender. What an unbelievable gem of a man. He's like the world's saddest 14-year-old.
Oh.
Doug, that's Arbor Day.
Well, I didn't know what to watch. I just finished Game of Thrones again. And to this day, season 8 doesn't ruin it for me. I mean, it was.
That's a hot take.
It was a terrible.
Hot
It was a
take
terrible.
right there.
Well, it ruined it for a lot of people.
Season 8 doesn't ruin it,
but it
for
didn't
you.
really
That's when
ruin
you take
it.
a drag of the cigar after that one.
It didn't ruin the whole thing for me. So I finished that up, and then I caught up on Outlander.
Caught up. You caught up.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it the last couple of Fridays, so I caught up on that.
It's like you're working on your MBA and you caught up on some of the accounting
And I was
classes.
just going through Hulu, and I said, "Oh, NYPD Blue. I haven't seen that forever.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since it came on. It
Well,
ended
forever because it hadn't been on
it
since
ended
the
in like
80s.
2005.
That was an 80s series, right?
No, I think it ended in 2005.
It did?
Had a great run, though.
I didn't realize it was that
I
recent.
think. Yeah, it was 12 seasons, I think.
It was, and it went from 1993 to March of 2005.
How about that, Doug? Fun,
that is
fun,
recent.
fun, fun.
Recent.
Jimmy Smits.
Guys, all hell is breaking loose in the YouTube chat. That's from the 636. Doug, what I thought we already tended to it.
Yeah.
Well, now that the listeners know that we're watching the YouTube chat, now I bet they're on.
Teddy Tucker's Treasures and Aaron's, Doug, is it Sitsies?
I don't know what it is.
Eddie Tucker's Treasures.
And then Tommy Summers said, I'd rather watch Tim take down that banana than listen to this story. It's from Tommy Summers.
How do you
Big
know?
banana.
Maybe I wasn't done with the story yet.
Okay.
It's a good-looking banana.
It is. I'm
How
looking
brown
forward
does
to
it have to get before you don't eat it?
Doug, how brown do you like it?
I read somewhere that when it gets brown spots, it's even healthier for you.
No, no, no.
It's just hard to eat when it's that mushy.
I think brown, it's technically ripe. Like the ripe bananas are brown.
Unless you put it in a cereal, then you don't mind it mushy, but I just can't eat a mushy banana.
People who comment in the YouTube chat and not text in have most certainly been weak bottoms for a Granite City 5. You could be a man and actually text in, you pots. That's
Putts.
from Lance Painter.
Putts, probably.
I just read what's in the prompter.
Okay.
Lance Painter's not happy about the situation right now.
Well, we could use some Lance Painter around here right now. He'd probably be the third starter next year. He's got to be in his 50s by now, but that's
Don't do that. Mosaic will.
Iggy didn't like the last season of Succession, but he did like the last season of Game of Thrones. Very interesting.
No.
It's from Cuckleberry Thin.
I didn't say it. I just said it didn't ruin it for me. I didn't like the ending. I didn't want her to burn down the entire city, then get killed, and then you put the worst character in that whole thing, Bran the Broken, as your
Spoiler!
king. That didn't make any sense, but it didn't ruin the other 7.5 seasons for me. Still a good show.
No,
Still a great night. Still a great jeweler is Glenn Betts Jewelers in business in St. Louis since 1941, Doug. Operated by the third and fourth generation of the Betts family. The Glenn Betts difference is you are served personally. You're not sold. Glenn Betts Jewelers develops relationships through generations of your family as well. They get to know your likes, lifestyle, and who and what you love. The 3 L's. It's GlennBettsJewelers.com, located 1 mile east of 270 on Manchester and De Pere. In the jewelry business, there is good, better, and then there is Betts. The Betts family passion for serving their customers has been passed down from generation to generation. It's Glenn Betts Jewelers. And Michelob Ultra, sponsor of the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship and the Dotem and our studios. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. It's Michelob Ultra. Sponsor of the studios here on TMA. You can see it if you're watching. You can see the Michelob Ultra logos.
sure, there it is,
All
right
over the
there.
studios here. Doug, tell us about our... yeah, there is. I noticed that. Title sponsor, his name's Ryan Kelly, the home
His name is indeed Kelly. He'd like to help you get refinanced, maybe take care of some of that credit card debt. The average credit card interest rate is over 24%. Highest it's been in over 30 years now. With inflation, people carrying more debt than ever. Put your equity to work for you with a simple cash-out refinance. The average home loan expert client receives more than $54,000 cash out on their refi. Maybe you're thinking about buying a home. Well, get yourself pre-approved. If you're thinking about buying, the process not as complicated as you think with the Home Loan Expert. They make the pre-approval process so very easy. So get pre-approved today, the day you call in, and they'll also provide a lower rate with a 10-day closing guarantee. Lenders do have different rates. You need to rate shop, and the Home Loan Expert has rates that cannot be touched. Also, if you're a veteran, Ryan Kelly likes to take care of the veterans. He's got that Hero Loan program. The website there is HeroLoan.com, where veterans, if they qualify, you can use your VA benefits and get a loan with $0 down. Ryan Kelly there to help you through any kind of problem you might have with your refinance or with your purchase of a new home. That's the HomeLoanExpert.com.
Maggie O'Brien's a perfect spot to go before a Cardinal game or a Doggies game. It's Maggie O'Brien's on Market Street and in Sunset Hills. Eddie McVeigh, great people, longtime sponsor of TMA. And when you go there, you know what you're going to get, and that's great service, great food, and an Irish pub that is family-owned and operated going back 4 decades. Union Station's next to them on Market Street. And, of course, the location in Sunset Hills. It is Maggie O'Brien's. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota sponsor the 7 o'clock hour. StLouisAcura.com, AltonToyota.com. It is Munganess, Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Peter Munganess. Doug, what do you love about Munganess?
Well, everything, really.
Nice.
The people that run it are so nice. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson couldn't be nicer. They want to make sure that you are happy with the car that you buy or with the service that you get. Right now, they've got me driving a Toyota Highlander from Alton Toyota.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just a fantastic SUV. Love that Toyota Highlander and love Munganess. And when you go there, you'll say, hey, now I know where I'm going to take my car all the time. I got a car guy now. I don't have to worry about it. Something goes wrong with your car, you take it in there, and you'll see a service department that just could not be run any better, any more efficiently. And you'll say, oh,
look at this.
Yeah, now I know the muckety mucks, and I know where to take my car whenever it needs service. That's what I like.
It's Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota online. It's StLouisAcura.com and AltonToyota.com. Even if you didn't get your car from Munganess, get your car serviced at Munganess. And there's a secret number. 314-252-0029. All right, you have an hour and a half to sign up to be the TMA Listener of the Month. Milagro Tequila sponsors it. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. Somebody could call in and just take it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think if a female called in, I'd just give her the award. Personally,
It's right there for the taking, but we don't have female listeners.
That's the core issue. 636-9004-TMA is how you can call in. Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com for the design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. We'll close out the Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Go into that YouTube chat today. They're having a big day in there. Teddy Tucker's Treasures, Aaron Sitzy's, Caller Adams in there, I see. Oh, no. Uncle Cucker, Tommy Summers. It's all happening, Doug. It's all happening in the YouTube chat. YouTube.com/TMASTL.
Have cyber sex.
Yeah, have cyber sex with some guys. It's Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at theHomeLoanExpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I am here with a wonderful sponsor of TMA, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And this is something that I experienced, as a matter of fact, years ago. If you get a call from an insurance agency, if you were in an accident, they are not necessarily working on your side. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Tim. I mean, in almost every case, there's going to be an insurance company involved. You know, they typically insure whoever caused the injuries to you by the person or the business that caused it. And unfortunately, from the moment your case begins, the insurance company is actually working against you, trying to minimize their payout. You might get a call from like somebody who seems like to be a really nice person who's just trying to see how you're doing, but their goal is actually to get some information out of you to turn around and use it later to show that you're not as hurt as you actually are. Insurance companies have specialized systems and thousands of workers who follow a playbook to pay you as little money as possible when you're hurt. This is Doug Biggs, and my injury law firm hates insurance companies and their deceitful tactics, and we'll make a fair fight out of it. Visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you're like most folks, you probably added some credit card debt over the summer. Vacations, projects around the house. Heck, just living costs an arm and a leg these days. Have you thought about a cash-out refinance? Maybe you think that mortgage rates are too high. Take a look at those credit cards. Most of them are in the 20% range. With a cash-out refinance, you can pay off your credit cards, save hundreds of dollars a month, and when mortgage interest rates come down, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to save you even more money. And it doesn't stop there. If you're thinking about buying a new home, we've got you covered. Don't let today's mortgage rates be the reason that you don't make the move. Home prices have really started to come down, and there's some great deals out there. We already have some of the lowest rates in town. And when they drop, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to get that payment nice and low. Get all your questions answered and get started on your new life today. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Engineer Design Facilities is moving forward as the EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facilities service provider in the St. Louis market. Check out the newly revamped website, theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. EDF Group is your one throat to choke for all your critical facilities, data center, commercial fire alarm, and electrical and IT infrastructure needs. To contact the EDF Group, email fire@theedfgroup.com. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at tmastl.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com.
Hey, St. Louis, Eddie McVeigh here from Maggie O'Brien's. When you head downtown for a concert or Cards or Blues game, and now for the St. Louis City soccer game, please come see us at Maggie O'Brien's before and after your event. Take our shuttle to and from or stay in-house and watch your favorite team on our multiple high-def TVs. We look forward to seeing you soon at one of our 2 locations in Sunset Hills on South Lindbergh or downtown at the corner of Market and 20th Street. Union Station is next to us.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Why, Bill? Why, Bill? Why? Ryan Kelly Morning After. Welcome to the 8 o'clock hour. My name is Tim McKernan. If you're watching on YouTube, let me call up the YouTube because the YouTube's a hotbed of activity today. Doug is on top of me.
I am not.
Plowhawks to my right on YouTube, even though he's straight ahead of me in real life. And Ken Strode just entered the door if you're watching on YouTube. And he is... Did you say catty corner, Doug, to me? Is that
Catty Wampus, I think.
Is that catty corner?
I guess diagonally.
Ox is off, you idiots!
Oh, come on, Blousy!
Well, yeah, because it's like a licensed music, bro.
Oh.
I can't just play whatever the hell you guys want to hear.
Okay.
Are you guys still wondering when it's okay to kiss a guy? I'll tell you when it's okay to kiss a guy. When he's a strong, broad-shouldered guy you grew up sharing a bunk bed with, who played Robin to your Batman. Sup, brother?
Oh.
Seat sniffer. That's in the Dogtown Astro Band. They've started to flirt with each other via our EDF group text inbox.
That's got to stop. Stop
Adam.
with your brother. It's got to stop.
He sent me another naked picture of himself the other day with his legs crossed.
He did not.
Seat sniffer did?
Yeah, find it.
Nice. That's one of the
What's going
perks.
on with these guys?
Someone's
Kind of the
sending you
perks of the
nudes?
job.
Adam does all the time.
One of the listeners is sending you nudes.
Call her Adam.
Why? Why?
You have to ask him why. I don't know. I don't ask for him.
Huh. Do you send him nudes in return?
No, I don't send him anything.
What does he want from you after he sends you these pictures?
Oh, he's just having fun.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
I don't have any.
He's not naked.
Need to see it?
I still don't care. It
I
doesn't
don't
matter
need to
what
see
could
it.
be.
He's got a bottle in front of him.
Why would he do such a thing?
I don't know. He's a weird dude.
Yeah. Can you get in trouble doing that? Sending naked pictures of yourself to people that don't request them or don't want them? Is there any legal problems that you could have with that?
Oh, yeah. If somebody sends you a picture you don't want, you can...
What could you do?
Doug, how about you try it and see what happens?
I don't want to. I'm sure if you did it on one of the social media platforms, maybe they could just cancel you. But just in general, if someone texts you naked pictures you don't want, is that illegal, against the law somehow?
Well, I don't know. I guess you could go to the police and say they did it. I don't want it. I don't know what happened. I wouldn't do it to Adam. They don't bother me.
No.
We do have a cancellation watch for this morning. Pat McAfee, Doug, is in the crosshairs of the Twitter tweets this morning per the New York Post. Pat McAfee is facing criticism for a tweet he sent out and then doubled down on. Last evening, the sports commentator was replying to a tweet by Evan Fox, who is on the Pat McAfee show, about alternate football jerseys from Michigan State. Clearly finding the uniforms ugly, McAfee responded by trying to joke that disgraced former USA Gymnastics and Michigan State Dr. Larry Nassar designed them. Nassar was sentenced to 40 to 175 years for a number of sexual assaults, in addition to a separate sentence on child pornography charges stemming from his time working at Michigan State and USA Gymnastics. For more than 2 decades, Nassar used his position to sexually abuse athletes, including college and Olympic gymnastics stars. Quote, I think Nassar was in on the design team, actually, McAfee wrote in the tweet that remains posted. Nassar had been in the news recently after he was attacked in federal prison by another inmate. McAfee seemed to double down on the social media quip when he responded to another user suggesting he delete the tweet with a gif of Stephen A. Smith saying, for what? That didn't dissuade people from voicing their displeasure. One Twitter user said, just insane this tweet hasn't been deleted yet.
One user.
Someone else tweeted, ESPN fired people to clear money for this guy. McAfee signed a 5-year, $85 million contract in May to take his show to ESPN. Several weeks later, ESPN began layoffs, prompting criticism for the amount they were paying McAfee only to lay off other employees. Ooh. Doug, have you tweeted at him yet to take it down?
No. I guess you're not allowed to even say the guy's name now, Nasser? You can't say his name or they want you fired?
It doesn't even make sense in the context of it, though. Like, it's just like not funny, not because of like I'm trying to cancel him. I'm just saying doesn't make any sense.
Is there a
No comedic
0%
value to
chance that he finishes that 5-year deal at ESPN? I'm guessing 0.
Oh, this won't take him down.
No, I'm not saying this is not going to take him down, but for one, ESPN just lays people off anyways, and two, this is just the year 1. You know, there's probably going to be more tweets, and people love to, get riled up and cause a whole situation.
Well, I suppose if he gets people riled up in a way, that's what they want, and it create controversy and people talk about him and
Just
listen
to
to
be
the show.
him and Stephen A. Smith carrying ESPN for 12 hours a day, I guess.
I'm not sure he thought that one was going to get anybody riled up.
No, I wouldn't expect it.
I will say it was a hard documentary to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
It's hard to believe you could get away with it for that long, and no one stood up and punched him or anything. And isn't it that they all just kind of took it thinking they had to? That's sad.
I thought somebody was going to jump in. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. I thought someone might have a take following mine.
Well, on the alternative jerseys, Florida probably came out with the worst ones I've ever seen the other day. So if we're talking about alternate jerseys.
Doug, what were Florida's alternate jerseys? I got to see.
They're anthracite with like alligator scales. And it's like a black helmet. Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're actually awful.
Oh, God, yeah. I don't like that trend. I like the traditional uniforms. Perhaps I've said that a time or two in the past.
I don't understand the tweet of Nasser designing Florida State uniforms. What is
Michigan State.
Or Michigan. What
That's where he worked. Michigan State.
Oh, well,
and I think he was trying to.
Florida
he was
uniforms.
Oh, no,
we
I was
switched
just
over to
talking
Florida.
about,
Oh,
well, I felt like the Nasser thing was
You
getting a
dozed
little
off there for
uncomfortable,
about
so I thought.
15 seconds.
No, I didn't doze off. I missed it. I just heard
Gators
uniform.
Oh, God,
Those have got to be the worst uniforms on the planet,
The
right?
anthracite doesn't even match.
It
The
does-
helmet,
the helmet-
jersey, and pants are 3 different shades of gray.
It's the worst.
Oh, my God.
I don't mind being creative, but nothing can compare to that. So I haven't seen the Michigan State ones, but I have
They
seen the
are
Florida
visually
ones.
appalling.
Yeah, the Michigan State ones are truly awful.
I could see him selling things just as a novelty, maybe as something you'd buy at a concession stand. But the team shouldn't be wearing that.
Oh God!
When you have 100 teams all doing 30 jerseys a year, you're running out of colors.
Are we talking about the neon with the?
Yes, state across the chest.
Those are the worst, actually.
Brutal.
Those are awful. Oh.
Yeah, but these Florida ones are gross.
I saw that the other day, and I'm like, I wonder how Doug would think about the anthracite clashing with the black and blue and orange.
Some of these golfers need to learn how to dress too lately.
Golf Talk brought to you by the Ascension Charity Classic. For sponsorship packages or to purchase tickets to the PGA Tour Champions event September 5th through the 10th, visit ascensioncharityclassic.com, Doug.
Okay, I will.
I think Stuart Sink is doing a conference call with everybody today. If anybody wants to join.
Okay.
Promoting the Ascension.
All right.
Well, I think just media, not you people listening. You don't get.
You people are not welcome.
Yeah, you're not welcome.
But it was a nice little story.
Well, we're talking
the
about
fact that this golfer is doing something for the media, but most
we're talking
people
about
are not permitted.
We're talking about Ascension, so I thought I would throw out that it's Media Day today. So.
All right.
But the Media Day is, I think it's a conference Zoom call with Stuart Sink, who's I think played in 3, just turned 50. I think he's already won 1, I think.
Yeah.
But I was watching golf.
This is a hijacking.
Don't ask me why.
We're talking about college football
You said you wanted to talk about the 3M and Lee Hodges' performance. Well, here you go.
Oh,
I had Lee Hodges. What a team I had. I had Lee Hodges. I had Chase and Headley. And I had 4 miscuts. But then I won $1 on NASCAR. I got a free NASCAR pick. I just picked 6 guys I never heard of, and I won $1.
Wow.
But anyway.
You transfer that over to the.
I don't know. I got
401k?
I got an email from DraftKings saying we're giving you a free NASCAR pick today. So I went, just picked 6 golfers and got a thing this morning. Congratulations, your account has been updated. I said, I don't win in golf. I won $1 in NASCAR.
What are you talking about?
Hit the hole, baby. Hit the hole.
I have no idea.
I was talking about, Tim brought up Hodges. I said I had him on my DraftKings team, along with a guy finishing the top 10 and 4 missed cuts. But I was watching only because I saw that Korn Ferry was doing the Barstool was doing the broadcast of the Korn Ferry Tour.
Now we're on the Korn Ferry. We're on minor league golf.
And I said, well,
come on,
this
Whistle Snoop.
ought to be funny. So I brought it up, and it was terrible. It really was terrible. But I'm watching these golfers. I'm like, who dresses these people? We're talking about uniforms, so I thought I'd bring this up. I mean, the pants don't match. The shirt is too baggy. It's you got check pants on. You got a striped shirt on.
Oh, that's a bad look.
Your hat's a trucker hat. Dress. You're out on the tour.
Dress, period.
The Korn Ferry Tour. You're supposed to be representing the PGA. You're trying to get a PGA card. Get a company that'll give you some clothes.
Maybe that's a job
fit.
you should have, is dressing the golfers.
I would like to, because some of these guys. I mean, I don't think Rory McIlroy's a great dresser. One of the top 3 golfers in the world, and he dresses like a slob.
What would you like to see him wear?
Maybe some nice white slacks and a multicolored shirt. Quit wearing these gray shirts with yellow pants.
They're probably all sponsors' clothing for him.
They are, but you get to pick what you want to wear.
Milagro Tequila media buyer Tim Burkhart just texted me saying, this is brutal.
What's brutal?
It was an okay story.
You could be a consultant to the shot scopers.
We were talking about ugly uniforms. I brought up ugly golfers' clothes.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, Tim, you're my buddy. I love you. But I don't know what's
those
brutal
aren't
about
uniforms. That's just one guy's
That's their
decision.
uniform. That's their uniform on the golf course.
But it's not a team uniform.
I mean, these
You get to
companies
wear whatever they want.
like well, Claves calls it Adidas. It's Adidas.
Claves takes it.
TaylorMade. The one shirts you and Tim wear.
Holderness and Bourne.
Yeah, Holderness and Bourne.
Holderness and Bourne, great shirts. Some of these golfers need to reach out to these companies and say, give me some different colors. Give me something that looks good. I'm tired of wearing yellow and gray. So anyway, there's that story.
Wonderful story.
Anybody call that story? I don't know if I've heard that one. So this one may be one that did not get called out prior.
Where are you guys at on the Orioles 3-paneled hat?
Doug, producer Joe wears that hat.
The orange bill, white front, black around.
See, I don't like that, but I think the Orioles color scheme is one of the best in sport.
I just don't like the 3-panel hat.
I think they're missing on it, but I think the black, orange, and the white is a great trio of colors.
I'm just happy to see them become one of the best teams in the league, because they were down for so long.
Where are you now, Tim Burkhart?
What now?
Talking Orioles now.
Well, it was evident that it was a free-for-all, so...
I feel like we were live to bring this up.
Just throw a grenade in there and see what happens.
Oh, my word.
Wasn't it nice to see the Orioles slap the Yankees around last night? I like that.
Yes. Dean Kramer.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore's good. Years of good drafting, I guess, have paid off for them.
And the Korn Ferry's lost all credibility with me by putting Barstool Sports on their broadcast.
Stop talking about the Korn Ferry Tour. It's minor league golf.
Well, it's a PGA, part of the PGA umbrella.
But minor league.
They let Barstool do the play-by-play of this thing. It was brutal.
Well, no one was watching. No one watches Korn Ferry golf.
Well, just to get Barstool involved.
Well, nobody watches Double-A baseball, but that's all the Cardinals care about is the Double-A baseball team making it.
Everyone's taking hits.
I don't know, you get to Springfield, they love their Double-A Cardinals.
They must have something in Springfield and Memphis that they're moving the Cardinals there or something. I don't know if the Major League Baseball is folding and all we're going to have left is minor league baseball, but they don't care. We're almost dead last in the National League. What they really care about is that Springfield club really coming to their own in October, and I appreciate that.
Well, they got nothing to do down there, so they go to baseball games.
Bass Pro. They got Branson right there.
Here in St. Louis, we have Family Golf and Learning Center, a premier golfing facility for all abilities and ages, provides a friendly and encouraging practice experience for the individual or the family. I might be there today, Doug. I don't know. I might be there late this afternoon. I can't sign today. I can't.
Oh, come on.
I can't sign. I want to sign. I can't. I just don't have the time.
Do you have pre-signed pictures you can
I
pass
do.
out?
I carry those around like Mickey Carroll does. Family Golf features a double-decker driving range and a par 3 course in the short game area. Sweet Mother of Mercy, the short game area. I love it. It's familygolfonline.com. Family Golf, learn, practice, play your best golf. Familygolfonline.com. Jackson, tell people about Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, if you would be so kind.
Well, he's the great communicator, Tim. I think we all know that at this point. I think you've heard that the way Mark communicates with his clients is what truly sets him apart from the competition. There's plenty of people out there with the same knowledge and wisdom as Mark Hanna, but what Mark Hanna does is how he conveys that message to his clients. That's why I hold him in such high esteem. I love getting on the phone with Mark Hanna. You wouldn't think like, oh, I'm getting on the phone with my financial advisor. I'm really looking forward to it. People be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I agree with that.
But when you
You're right.
have somebody like Mark Hanna, it's a different story because as Tim has called him before, he's a life Sherpa.
No,
He's so wise and he's
great.
able to communicate with his customers so effectively. That's what sets him apart because that's a real skill that you can't necessarily just acquire. You have to be ingrained with that. And Mark Hanna certainly is. He's a wonderful human being, and I love working with him. I know Doug loves working with him. Prod Joe loves working with him. A ton of our listeners love working with him. I work with Mark Hanna. You should work with Mark Hanna, too.
314-889-0503. Or go online at evergreenstl.com. Give him a call. Everyone needs a financial advisor. Mark Hanna is first class. He really is a great guy, and I recommend him to our audience. Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. Get involved on the program by texting into the EDF group text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Call in. Maybe you can become the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month. I mean, there's an hour and 15 minutes left in the month of July's TMA shows. Milagro Tequila is the sponsor of our Listener of the Month. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro. And, of course, you can email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. It was a big day for Alicia.
Oh, no.
Who's Alicia?
Anything happened on the Corn Ferry Tour, Iggy?
Heading to her new boyfriend's flat for a party.
Flat. It's always a flat.
She was going to meet some of his friends and his other girlfriend, Alicia, who's going by a pseudonym, wasn't sure what to wear to this evening's soiree.
Yeah, better hide her name, otherwise we'd know exactly who it is. You made the whole thing up anyway.
Hoping to look effortlessly chic in a long-sleeve top and jeans.
How old is she?
Well, we haven't gotten to that yet. She was nervous as other guests started to arrive. One brought flowers. Another baked a cake. For such a liberal, open-minded setup, the event was jarringly wholesome. And then people started taking their clothes off.
Oh, right there in the flat?
She didn't know it was a swingers party?
Alicia knew she was there for a sex party, but she was still surprised at just how everyone got naked.
One of the Kennedys was there?
My mind was completely blown, recalls the 32-year-old. There you go, Iggy. Okay. It was eye-opening. There were people having section corners, threesomes in the middle of the living room. I had my first lesbian experience there. It was clear that I didn't fancy women, but it was fun to dabble. Oh, wow, fun. In an environment that was judgment-free. It also changed my appreciation for open relationships. The guy I was with clearly loved his partner even when she was having sex with other people in front of him. Now, is that a cock?
The guy you were with, his girlfriend?
I just read what's in the prompt.
the girlfriend
I'm
left
going to read it
him.
one more time, and then I'll read it at the top of Balloon Party. The guy I was with clearly loved his partner even when she was having sex with other people in front of him. Is that a cuck?
Well, no, because it's an orgy, so it's a free-for-all. You know what's going to happen.
But she said she was with the guy, but the guy had a partner.
Right.
So the guy had someone else besides her.
Well, I think she knew that.
And this other girl was messing around with other people.
I think at the beginning of the article, she said Alicia was excited about her new boyfriend's party with his other girlfriend. I think there was a mention of that in the beginning.
How do people that do this keep track as well, like in their phone?
They don't do it.
It's a flow chart.
You're making it all
There's a
up.
flow chart right when you walk in.
I feel like to be a swinger, it's logistically so hard on your calendar, remembering names. What happens if you
I
fall in love?
I don't think anyone cares about the name.
It just seems like a logistical nightmare being a swinger.
Well, as it turns out, according to this article that Jackson sent over as a link this morning,
what he's thinking.
Alicia's experience is becoming increasingly common.
Right.
Oh, it happens all the time. Yeah. You can't go into a flat without seeing this stuff going on.
Amongst millennials and Gen Z, they are eschewing the traditional dating scene in favor of a rapidly growing alternative way to meet people. Sex parties! As a concept, these shindigs aren't anything new. The advent of the pill heralded the sexual revolution of the 60s, which in turn saw the proliferation of alternative relationship structures. Swinging, where people in committed relationships exchange partners, became increasingly popular, with the quote-unquote lifestyle being embraced by an estimated 1.5 million Brits.
I don't know about that.
1.5 million Brits, Doug.
That's a lot.
Not really.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
I don't buy it.
So the UK's population is 67 million people.
Nice.
So that's a healthy percentage.
That is great to hear.
That is.
Well, they're very
We're
open
going to do a
people.
remote.
You go to any
But they have bad teeth.
any island, they're the ones that still are wearing Speedos.
All right.
Yeah, Europeans, they still wear those things.
Yeah, but what about the English? That's a little different.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, and that was the UK population. England's is 57 million, so even a higher percentage.
Doug, what's the swinging situation like in Wales?
Ian Woosman started it all.
Probably about half of them are involved.
Little Woozy. He's sitting there strutting around a naked party and just, hi, y'all.
But if you don't know who's going to... Howdy, y'all.
I'm Woosman.
If you don't know who's going to be at these
They talk
parties...
like they're from Alabama and Wales.
Yeah.
I'm Ian Woosman.
Howdy, y'all. Yeah, you hear that all the time in Wales.
Made a wee bit more.
What a wonderful impression.
I can't do this. I can't do impressions. I really can't. I can do impressions. I can't do accents.
You do Ned Reynolds darn well.
Yeah, but that's... I can do Australia. Hi, mate.
And your Exorcist impression.
Damien.
Oh, God.
But if you go to one of these swingers parties and you don't know who's going to be there, isn't there a real high probability that you're not going to be interested in anyone else who's there? Because when you look around at the general population, there's not very many people that you'd really be interested in.
Oh, you're going to too many Cardinal games. Jackson, this says that 43% of millennials are likely to say their ideal relationship is non-monogamous. Do you agree with that?
43%.
Yes. Like Sweet Sweet Kai, Oatmeal, Private Citizen Pete. Herb's got to be non-monogamous. There's no way only one woman gets that hog.
I don't think one woman can handle it. I think they do need to split it
I would
up.
love to co-sign that 43% number, but all those people you just listed are monogamous as the day is long.
No!
So it's like, it's tough for me, but maybe our Midwestern aw shucks nature is kind of not the right barometer for promiscuity. You know, maybe if I was Northeast raised or from the West Coast.
Northeast raised. Sounds like a chicken, like free-range chicken.
I would have a better scope of non-monogamy. But at the current state, everybody I know, I mean, I'm sure people stray, but I don't know if it's like a pre-communicated thing.
You're talking about single people or married people?
In between, people in lust.
Well, I'd like to see the percentage of genders because women are kind of the Swiss Army knife. You know, they can get into a throuple all females. They can have a couple guys, attached to them at the hip or whatever.
Guys can't have that?
But the guys are more picky in terms of just wanting a swing relationship with another female and another guy adding into that. There's probably a high percentage of guys that I'd rather just not swing as opposed to getting involved in a lifestyle and having to deal with making out with a dude or sniffing holes. I don't know if the 43% would be most guys or most females in the relationship.
I would
That's high in general.
I disagree with you saying that guys are more picky. I think girls are more picky. Guys will bang anything.
But if it comes to another guy, I'm talking about the swinging. Let's say a woman that you're swinging with wants to have another guy in there. The women.
Oh, you mean the more popular MMF?
I guess it depends on who calling that the more popular one. Prod Joe, he understands, he knows.
He was very much into that.
He's in it. I don't think guys are as willing to jump with the same sex as them as opposed to a female. It's like, okay, let's add another female.
That's true.
But that's what I mean. I think the females are probably more interested in the 43% range of being swingers because they get to have both sides of the fun.
They're the ones who pretty much get to decide if any of this is going to happen.
They're making the 95% of it. And what about when you go to these swinging parties, you find like a coworker or like a friend, a
next door neighbor,
yoga
family
instructor.
member.
Well, then you get to bang them, right?
Right.
Is that the deal?
The
clergy member.
After a friend suggested she attend a Killing Kittens event, Polly decided to give the party a go, where she caught the sex soiree bug. Quote, I jumped in at the deep end. I'm an actor, so I'm very comfortable being naked around people.
What have we seen you in, honey?
The moment I arrived, I stripped off and put all my clothes in the cloakroom, and I walked around naked. Everyone was so chill. When you put the taboo in front of someone, it is immediately easier to talk about. No one needed to covertly flirt with you. We all knew what we were there for. Polly adds the sheer sexiness of the event is what made the event so intoxicating. It's clearly on the classy side.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
Nothing classy about swinger parties. I don't care.
They had a cloakroom, so
people wear nice dresses and make an effort. The parties tend to be grand townhouses with chandeliers and high ceilings. It was like going to a cocktail party where anything goes. Everyone is very tactile and up for anything. It's nice not to feel inhibited by society's norms. Killing Kittens is...
I don't like the name.
Killing Kittens is certainly one of the more established sex party stalwarts on the scene. It was founded in 2005 by Emma Sale. Emma Space Sale. The parties initially started as small soirees would put the pleasures of the kittens at the forefront. The kittens are the female.
No kidding.
How would she know? She said it's the first one she's been to.
Yeah, that's right.
And she said they were going to a flat. Now she's describing a mansion.
We go to the biggest events having 200 attendees in 2019, but now there's 800 people. Doug, that's 4X.
800 people at the swingers party?
Just penetrating each other.
Oh. Wouldn't you
I
have
guess
to
I got to
just
go to a
get-
Killing Kittens this weekend.
Wouldn't you have to just get completely plastered before anything happened at a place like that?
I'll have a cocktail in one hand, my love in the other, and I'll be behind a potted plant watching Sapphos.
Oh.
And if I could do that every weekend, I'd be fired up.
Sounds like a Dancing Bears thing.
Yeah. You could set up like a wicker chair or something.
Yeah, I'd probably use a wicker chair, you're right. We're in the roaring 20s, Camilla explains. Do you consider this the roaring 20s?
No, I don't.
Camilla, is that the... What happened to Alicia?
She's the Killing Kittens Senior Events and Education Manager.
Yeah. People want to go out, try new things, and do things they wouldn't have done otherwise. If we've learned anything from the pandemic, it's that life's too short. We need to live our lives to the fullest. Doug, the pandemic has led to sex.
I don't know. That sounds like an excuse that some guy would give to try to get together with a girl, doesn't it? Hey, we could die at any moment. Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder what the condom situation is in these things.
Doug, what is the condom situation?
But it's not happening.
I would hope there'd be like a hepatitis station or like, like kind of how Vegas has like those hydration tents.
The gonorrhea corner.
Yeah, when you're done, you kind of just regroup.
The syphilis section.
Get your tests,
Right.
get your latte, and then head home.
I would hope there's like shared hors d'oeuvres or something at these things.
Oh.
You don't want to do this on
Can
an
you
empty
imagine
stomach.
just a buffet?
Wouldn't STDs be a huge concern if there's 800 people there? You'd only have to have one that was
probably why
infected.
That's why I asked what the condom situation is.
Probably plentiful.
Oh, I'm sure there's bowls everywhere, kind of like a candy
Bowls?
jar. And just, like how you go to your grandparents and there's Werther candies and
If you
all
have
these hard candies.
If your company's called Killing Kittens and you have a senior events and education manager, I can guarantee you there's going to be some rubbers.
Don't get nasty
I
with
like
us.
kittens and bunnies.
Okay.
Boy, that drop sounds like it came from the ceiling.
I don't know why
It
you
is a
call
weird one.
Killing Kittens. That's not a very nice...
It seems to me the only way something like that would work is if it was like 3 a.m. after the bars. Everyone's plastered. Everyone says, "Okay, let's go," and it's 99 men for every girl there.
No, I disagree. I kind of like the way it was described. I mean, if you're a swinger and you know what's going to happen, so you go to this party, I would like it to be kind of formal. You got some hors d'oeuvres and maybe some champagne, some cocktails. Everybody's dressed
Like
to the
that,
nines
but that's
before you
not-
take it off.
That's not reality.
Well, this one was.
It was not. It's all made up. It's all
I can only go by
made
what
up.
Tim read.
It's in the prompter, Doug.
I mean,
It's
if
called Killing Kittens.
All made up.
it's in the Daily Mirror. It's probably true.
I agree with that. I can tell you this. Celebrity Greens Clubhouse Turf is for real. I know that because I know they have built them for both John Rahm and Gary Woodland and Max Homa. If you are interested in having a putting green or a green complex, a place to chip and putt in your backyard, go to clubhouseturf.com and check out what is doing. But they're not only limited to golf. If you have brown spots in your yard from your pets or areas where you simply can't get the grass to grow, Clubhouse Turf has the solution. Synthetic turf is durable, easily maintained, and sustainable, as it requires no mowing, trimming, watering, fertilizers, or chemicals. It's an investment that literally pays for itself. Go to clubhouseturf.com and or give them a call at 314-834-2339. Let them know that you are a TMA listener and that I sent you their way. It's clubhouseturf.com. New sponsor on the program is a great sponsor, and that is Circa. Jackson, tell the people about Circa.
Circa Sportsbook, Doug, they have $14 million in guaranteed prizes.
Have they?
$14 million in guaranteed prizes for their two major contests. There's also no rake, so if the entries go above that guarantee, all extra money will go to the prize pool. We got the Circa Millions with $6 million in guaranteed prizes, $1,000 per entry with a maximum of 5 entries per person. You pick 5 teams against the spread every week. Winner takes home $1 million. They also have the Circa Survivor Pool, $8 million guaranteed to the winners, $1,000 per entry, maximum of 10 entries per person. You must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada for both these contests, Las Vegas, Henderson, or Sparks and Reno. You pick one team straight up every week to win. If the team loses or ties, the entry is eliminated.
Gone!
You can only pick each team once in a season.
Yep.
Go 20-0 or be the last person standing to win. If a single person wins, they get that entire $8 million pot.
Sweet
if
mother of
multiple
mercy.
people go 20-0, or if multiple people are eliminated the same week, to reduce the contest to 0, they will split the pot. This is all available over at Circa Sportsbook. $14 million in guaranteed prizes.
Unbelievable. Hey, a lot of people, Doug, you were talking about your power going out. I was talking about going out at a restaurant I was at. The thing with EDF Group is one of their biggest specialties is making sure that they are on top of disaster recovery from storms for all commercial operations and data centers. Their bread and butter is UPS Systems, uninterruptible power supply that keeps critical IT and data center power from ever seeing an outage. That is the EDF Group. Their specialty is keeping it up in the dark. You like that, Doug? Keeping it up in the dark. Really. EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facility service provider in the St. Louis market. All you have to do is go to theedfgroup.com. Sponsor of our text inbox. They keep it up in the dark. 314-881-TMA5. That's how you can get involved in the program. You can also email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. A win by Buck Swope. He clinches it. He wins another Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the month. Brian Henshin wins. Well, Doug, we'll have a sudden death playoff tomorrow. That'll be fun. That'll be fun.
Good times.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
So that is the showdown today as Buck Swope carries in a magic number of 1. Brian Henshin has to win or Buck Swope wins the month of July. It is 9:03 in St. Louis. Send your emails to me for QFTA this week. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. Anything is welcome. And I mean anything. Prefer erotic stories, but anything is welcome. Questions, comments, erotic stories, TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. We'll do deep dives on whatever topic. This closes out our 8 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you're like most folks, you probably added some credit card debt over the summer. Vacations, projects around the house. Heck, just living costs an arm and a leg these days. Have you thought about a cash out refinance? Maybe you think that mortgage rates are too high. Take a look at those credit cards. Most of them are in the 20% range. With a cash out refinance, you can pay off your credit cards, save hundreds of dollars a month, and when mortgage interest rates come down, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to save you even more money. And it doesn't stop there. If you're thinking about buying a new home, we've got you covered. Don't let today's mortgage rates be the reason that you don't make the move. Home prices have really started to come down, and there's some great deals out there. We already have some of the lowest rates in town, and when they drop, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to get that payment nice and low. Get all your questions answered and get started on your new life today. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
This is Doug Biggs from the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm, and I want to talk to you about what happens when you get in a car accident. Hopefully most of you never will be, but if you are, the first few days after an accident can be critical. Unfortunately, from the moment your case begins, the insurance company is going to be working against you trying to minimize their payout. You're probably going to get a call from an adjuster who seems nice, who seems worried about your well-being, but what they're actually trying to do is get a statement from you to use against you later. Insurance companies have specialized systems and thousands of workers who follow a playbook to pay you as little money as possible. At Longo Biggs Injury Law, we know the playbook and we can fight back. If you or a loved one is injured in an accident, visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back, and bigger than ever, with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circus Sports. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, 2 ways to win and no rake. Play Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts, or join Circus Survivor, where you select one team each week straight up. Last the longest to win it all. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circusports.com for details.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah. Pepperoncini. And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Adkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com.
Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. If you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design and can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229. line or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
I'm Tim McKernan here with Action Jackson talking to you about Mark Hanna. TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially, whether it be saving up for their child's education or planning for their own retirement and everything in between.
Whether you're like me and just getting started with your financial planning or you're already retired, call Mark Hanna.
It all starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs and design the right strategy for you and your future.
Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors and insurance and annuity products through Equitable Network, LLC.
The Midwest Drag Racing Series, Night of Fire and Thunder Back to School Bash at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Bring out the whole family and check out jet cars, dragsters, ground-pounding pro mods, live music, and fireworks. Tickets start at just $30 and kids 12 and under are free. Don't miss it. Race cars, fireworks, and more at WWT Raceway, Saturday, August 19th. Get your tickets and all the details at WWTRaceway.com. Brought to you by Travers Automotive and RV Group.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Welcome back, Ryan Kelly Morning After. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, the Plowhawk, Action Jackson with you. Ken Strode is doing his Monday financials review for Hubbard Corporate, and he'll join us if he has the time. I don't know if he will.
Just a lot of paperwork.
That's correct.
As much as anything.
It was kind of a fun email or text. I apologize. 314-881-TMA5. Another marvelous weekend playing bridge with my investment club on Friday morning. Followed up with my tennis match against Leslie and her deadbeat husband at OWCC. Can't wait to watch the ponies this week at SLCC. If you're not careful, Leslie will actually take you with her strappy in the cart barn.
Okay, that's enough.
That's from the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom.
Self-made mom. Are there any other kind? I guess maybe there could be. If you're like a mail-order bride, I guess you wouldn't be self-made.
I feel like the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom is like a character from the creator of St. Louis starter packs, which, of course, as we know, is Jackson.
Yeah.
Jackson, are you texting in as the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom?
I knew a lot of stay-at-home self-made moms that when I lived in that area.
There is a phenomenon, and I don't know what causes it. I'm certainly welcome to your theories on momtrepreneurs. And I don't know if these LLCs are in the black or not. Personally, if there was an opportunity to short them, honestly, I would. But momtrepreneurs are running wild throughout Facebook.
They are?
What are they opening up? Mainly boutiques?
Jackson, do you see these things, or is this something that's only privy to me as a 46-year-old father who, looks for Reese's posts?
It's not necessarily brick and mortar shops, Iggs. It's a lot of selling wares or other products out of their home.
Stuff like that.
Not Tupperware. They're not selling Tupperware. I don't know if there's a big market for
I could use
designer
some Tupperware amount. Gave Mellow to Doug, and he doesn't bring them back.
You gave me like little butter things that you got.
That's my Tupperware. Country Crock.
I gave you 3 pieces of Tupperware. You lost them all.
Sounds like there's a Sibian convention going on, like on the roof.
I did.
We not could be invited.
The Plowhawk and I, during the commercial break, heard a whirring, and we are concerned that an air conditioning is about to fall through the ceiling of our janitorial closet.
Could happen, yeah.
I don't know if the audience can hear it, but there is Jackson, can you hear it?
Not at all.
I think this.
Come in here and tell me if you can hear it.
All right, I'm coming in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jackson Burkett coming in the Michelob Ultra Studios. Fun. This is fun.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I think some guy's doing duck pointing out there.
Oh, so there's work going on up there?
Yeah, he's been around this building.
Tuck
Duck
pointing.
pointing.
Not duck pointing. Duck pointing would be, look, there's a duck.
I said tuck pointing.
Okay.
But he's been in here for like 2 weeks going around with that big crane just up there, just sanding the walls and stuff.
Jackson, do you hear it? Yeah. Okay, that's confirmed.
What can you do about it?
It's coming from that wall, or is it coming from the ceiling, baby?
Fix it.
Sounds like ceiling in the northwest corner up there. Well, what am I supposed to do?
I don't know. That's up to you.
I think that's the northeast corner.
Real old school.
No, I think it might be northwest. Doug, is that the northwest corner?
How do you know
Let me
that's
think
north?
about it. South is that way.
That's correct.
North is this way.
How
That'd
do
be
you
the
know that?
northwest corner.
Yeah, very nice. Tip of the cap. Not easy.
How do you know that? I can't point out directions.
Well, if you went into the employee lounge here and you looked that way, you'd see Olive, right?
Yeah.
That'd be south.
I thought Olive went east and west.
It does.
It does. So if we look at Olive, you're looking south.
That's right.
So the other way would be north.
How would you know you're not looking north?
Because I know where I am.
Now it sounds like it's coming from the southwest corner.
He's moving all around with that crane.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Crane. My sister-in-law had a great job at a bank and left it to create an Etsy shop where she stamps people's names on the sides of books and sells them. She's doing 6 figures just on the books. It's insane.
Oh.
Doug, why don't we do that? So
I'd
Larry
like
Thornton.
an Etsy gig.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I love Etsy. I shop at Etsy.
What do they sell on Etsy?
Everything.
Everything.
Really?
Yeah.
So an example of this on the bad side, if you've ever seen The Office, would be Serenity by Jan making candles and stuff. That would be like the bad end of it. And there's
Jan Levinson Gould.
Indeed. And there's certainly some great examples of people having much success based on that. But then the worst side of that is, again, Serenity by Jan, campfire smell. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people are looking for a side hustle.
Sure, why not? I mean, God bless. Sell whatever you want.
You
That's
got a rich
the,
husband. You're sitting at home
capitalism.
doing nothing. You open a business.
That's
Well,
not
not necessarily. Not everybody does. A lot
Some
of them
people
don't.
are.
If you got a rich husband, probably not.
Yeah, some people are supplementing their income.
You got a rich husband, and you're just tired of meeting the girls for cocktails at the club. You just open up a little because you know all your rich friends will buy it from you. So you just open up a little thing. Hey, girls, I'm selling candles. Come on by.
I need some rich friends. That's what I'm missing out on.
I'd like to introduce you to the self-made stay-at-home Ledoux mom.
Sounds like a real legit.
I've got some rich friends, and it's very humbling. Be careful what you wish for. It makes you feel like a loser.
What Lois Wayne will always cite is the charcuterie board artists. I will agree with him that is kind of fugazi, but
It's what now? What was that word?
Fugazi. It's not real. Shout out
what
Matthew
are you-
McConaughey.
So what are you selling? A cutting board?
Well, no, they dress up the boards with meats, cheeses, fruits.
But how do you say? I'm
Don't you
with
do that yourself?
I'm with Iggy. How
But
are
it's
they
the-
sending the meats and cheeses?
It's the way it's decorated. Well, I think they do it IRL, like they come to your home. And
Hey, do you like that IRL?
I don't
There's no
like it,
way I'm
no.
having somebody come up and set my own charcuterie board.
I
No.
don't need somebody to tell me how to set out some cheese and salami.
Right. Well, then you wouldn't be in their customer base. But if you're having some sort of dinner party or even like an hors d'oeuvre hour, and you have a very nice, well-designed charcuterie board, it can be the star of the party.
I was thinking yesterday, as my mind always wanders during the day, and I think of things, just like I'm looking up Andrea Thompson nude. I was thinking, what could I open up that would work?
Pretty good 918.
What kind of business?
Yeah, I was thinking Iggy's Italiana,
Iggy's Italiano.
and open like a little grocery store with Italian delicacies, olive oil, thing like that.
They have those on the hill.
But then have
They do have-
Oreos, Doug, remember?
And
Yeah.
Vivianos.
And I
They
think
don't
that's
have
the one
Iggy's.
I used.
and then but also have a deli. If somebody wanted to come in for a nice hard salami sandwich with some provolone cheese or
like Adriana's.
nice roast beef.
They have all that on the hill.
But I don't live on the hill.
No,
Just
where would you
because
do
they have it
this?
on the hill, nobody else can open one?
No, well, where would you do
Yes.
Oh, Maryland Heights. Iggy's
That's
Italiana.
amazing.
that? All right. It's a lot of work.
Well, I'd have somebody else do it.
Grocery store, you got to sell volume because the profit margin is rather.
Now we're coming
slim.
into another Iggy idea. Are we about to shame any Italian eatery that's about to open in the next 6 to 8 months?
There'll be a new one in the 6 months in Maryland Heights. Maryland Heights really doesn't have any sandwich shops. They got a Penn Station. They got a Firehouse Sub.
They have that one that
Subway.
everyone always talks about. They have like one that everyone that whenever talks sandwiches are like, oh, there's this place in Maryland Heights. What the hell's
We'll find out what it is because I can't find one. I felt like a sandwich last night. I said, I'm not going to Subway. I'm not going to Penn Station. I'm not going to Firehouse. Although I like, taking care of the firefighters, but they're too expensive. It's like $15 for a sandwich.
I think the best way to have the best chance to make a lot of money is something on the internet where the whole world can be your customer.
100%. Drop shipping and all that.
And
The Evola Express, that's the one everyone talks about.
You know how you make six-figure incomes?
Isn't that a disease?
Ebola.
Vivola. V-I-V-O-L-A.
Vibola. I said Ebola. Ebola.
No, there's no B in the word.
That's
Ebola and E. coli make a super virus.
You could sell that, I guess.
You could definitely sell that on the open market.
I wouldn't name my sandwich shop after that.
Good morning. You're not Italian, and this idea sounds awful. Thanks. That's a Huckleberry Finn.
You know what gets us on Etsy, and I guarantee you people who do this make six figures, is anything dog-related. If you're making dog collars, dog-like sweaters, anything dog-related, people will spend money on. And I bet you those are the people that are making a ton of money on.
I bought those Nike slippers that I wear. I bought those off Etsy. And Etsy isn't it basically just other people selling stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of their own, people's own personal craft store, basically, on that website. It's a fantastic website.
James Carlton opened up an insurance store, Doug, and it's in Webster Groves. It's online at carltoninsurance.net, and there's 319 five-star reviews on the Google page where you type in his name, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, I don't just get his address, I get five-star reviews with people talking about their experiences with James and his staff. They rave about it, and I do as well. 4 years now, I guess, of being a James Carlton client. 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net. The Plowhawks client. I'm a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client as well? It's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. When you make the switch, they do all the work for you. You'll be thrilled. When you make the switch, you will notice a huge difference, just like I did. It's Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Last night, Doug, I barbecued. I have a Weber kettle. I'm a charcoal guy.
Gosh.
I know you're not.
No.
And I did chick-a-deedle-dee. Chick-a-deedle-dee.
Do you do breasts? Do you do legs? Do you do thighs?
It's a good question. I was actually just about to address that. Anna Marie prefers the breasts. It's awesome. Thanks, Plotto.
Okay.
And then me and my 5-year-old, we do drumsticks. That's what I do. Just like a good 5-year-old would, I'm eating drumsticks.
I like drumsticks. I like a thigh, though.
I was getting to the Andrea's barbecue sauce because you can imagine I just sopped it up in there. God, it's so good. I love it. Andrea's barbecue sauce, steak sauce for burgers, and, of course, Andrea's Steakhouse. Go to andreas.com, and if you want that barbecue sauce or steak sauce, go to andreas.com or Schnucks or Deerberg's. Danity Stack. You know Danity Stack, right?
Sure.
Doug, he can bomb it.
Can he?
Yeah, I would say he's strokes gained off the tee, might be struggling strokes gained around the green. I don't know that. It's a feel I have.
Yeah, I can tell you that.
You can confirm it?
Yeah, his short game isn't great, but he can bomb it.
He emailed me at 3:30 in the morning, too. So this was on his mind. The way, because I said last week that I don't feel like I am good barbecuing with my Weber kettle, chick-a-deedle-dee. And he emailed me, and I was curious if you have heard of this, Iggy, because I feel like you are our official chef, of microwaving chicken, not to cook it, but just to make sure that you're not going to bring salmonella into play, and to microwave it before putting it on. Doug, would you call it the griddle? Would you call it a griddle? Grill?
Yes.
You ever heard of that?
Although some have griddles.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I've not on the grill, but before I put it in the oven, I fry it, and I brown all the sides, then I put it in the oven for like 40 minutes. But I've never heard of microwaving it before.
No.
I would think that would kind of dry it out.
Just not very long time, and it depends on how much chicken, of course, you're utilizing.
You can kill a lot of bacteria on food with just 20 or 30 seconds in the microwave.
So
that could
I
be
messed
it.
around with that. And then I typed it into a search engine, and I saw that it is actually something that plenty of people do.
That's why a lot of people are just going to the air fryer.
I'm the only guy in the world who doesn't like the air fryer.
It says you can
tried.
get crispy
I only
fried
use it to
chicken.
reheat fries.
I can't get anything to come up.
You know what
with
I
that.
use it for?
What?
Frozen salmon is the best thing ever. We do salmon Caesar salad, salmon wraps usually once a week. And if you forget to thaw it out, you can just literally cook it in there for about 10 or 12 minutes with a little olive oil on each side, a little seasoning. It comes out perfect.
Oh, does it?
So we use it for reheating like fries and things like that, reheating pizza.
Yeah.
We typically don't use it more so than that. I guess it all depends on if you're utilizing it as your oven or not. and I wouldn't recommend that.
If you microwave your chicken, you are an effing cuck. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Danity Stack.
Stop it, Stack.
And that's from a chef. Mr. Siders is a chef? I thought Mr. Siders was Jackson's dad.
I can confirm he is not my father.
You don't think your dad just called Danity Stack an effing cuck?
No shot. Unless someone that had to seriously
Breaking
happen.
news if that's happening.
That'd be so great.
My dad was making burgers last night. Brushed it on with that Andrea steak sauce and the barbecue sauce.
How do you do?
Oh, really?
And I'm from both sides.
How do you do?
You went over there to eat last night, did you?
Yeah. Little Sunday night. Nieces were over, hang out.
Okay.
I'd always go over to my parents when my dad barbecued.
Yeah, it's great. Free food.
You don't tell them that's why you're there, do you?
No, but
Hey,
they know
free
it's part of
food.
the reason.
You knock out some laundry too.
You knock out laundry while you're barbecuing?
When I would go to my parents' house, I'd knock out some laundry and then stay for dinner. Wherever I go to a family's house, I bring my laundry.
I bet they love that. I bet they absolutely love that.
That's all you do, and you bring a bunch of laundry?
Anything I can do to not go to my complex laundromat.
Oh, man.
We had my great niece Emma's 10-year birthday party a couple Saturdays ago, and I just brought some laundry.
In a big duffel bag or something?
No, I got a basket. I just brought my basket, and I said, I got some laundry to do. She said,
Sweet.
okay, let me get my towels out of there, and I just did some laundry while I was at the party.
Are you using their detergent, or do you bring your own?
No, I use theirs. Nice. I don't even have mine when I go to the apartment complex. I just take what's laying there.
Microwaving chicken is for self-made Afton moms. Stop it!
I don't know that it is.
Some Danny Tanner who's not happy with Danity Stack's email.
But I get it. It's not going to cook it at all if you just do 20, 30 seconds, but it could kill all the bacteria. Like, wouldn't that be worth it to not get sick?
Yeah, I'm guessing it's got to be the reason. If you're not cooking it, you're just trying to get as much bacteria out of there. So when you do
100%.
cook it, you're getting the Ebola out of there and the
Not Ebola.
salmonella or whatever.
This new super virus is going to hit hard.
Salmonella with chicken, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we were talking the other day. I'm terrible at chicken because I overcook it because I'm afraid to undercook chicken.
I'm with you there, Eggs.
Wouldn't you think you'd get salmonella with salmon?
But is he talking about reheating chicken that's already cooked?
No, I
He's
think
talking about putting it in the microwave before you put it on the grill.
Ain't it? I love Danny to Stack, but that ain't it.
But it's not cooking it.
Wouldn't
I
you
tell you,
think
it
the
would get
temperatures...
crispier. It would get crispier because you got that fat and that grease coming off of it in the microwave. So when you put it on the grill, you're going to have that nice oily fat, which would probably grill it better.
I don't want to put
fat.
I don't want to put a lukewarm chicken breast on the grill. I feel like I just naturally want it to be fridge cold.
Wouldn't the heat from the grill kill bacteria just as well as the
You would think, but I guess
microwave?
if you don't get it to, I think 165 degrees is what you need with the chicken.
Yeah.
And do not use one of those bristle scrapers for your grill. Please do not do that.
Yeah.
Anybody who is still doing that, it's an issue.
Yeah.
You're going to be eating some of those bristles.
Yeah,
Do
the little
not-
metal shavings
yes.
come off and
Do
stick
not.
on the grill, and then they get on the food.
I use my spatula, just take it off, set it on the porch, and do that. Yeah, using those bristle things that's a nightmare.
Especially the metal ones.
I got one that's almost like a Brillo pad on it.
Don't do that.
It's not big, whatever you call it.
But if it's got
It's
metal
very-
shavings,
I've
or
seen
something, it can
stories
come
that
off.
No,
people
it's
have
not,
cooked
it's not
meat
metal.
out of
It's not
shavings.
metal. Brillo pads aren't metal.
Well, Brillo pad's got that. It feels like. What is it made of?
Well, it's got soap in it. It's like a Brillo pad. So you're not using big metal bristles. It's like a spongy material, but
Steel wool?
Steel, yeah, that's what you wouldn't want to use. Steel wool, no way.
I don't know what it is. I bought it. It's not bristles. It's not metal, but it takes the stuff off. I just spray it with a little Pam first, and then I scrape it off.
I like to use those extra droppings and seasoning on the grate for a while.
This has become a cooking show.
It is.
With hot takes.
We can do it all.
Salmon, you can't get that from salmon. Salmon, you can eat medium rare. You don't need to cook salmon all the way through.
Even with sushi, is it cooked at all?
It has to be sushi grade fish, though.
But it's not cooked at all.
I know
is
where
it?
I get my fish, so I'm fine with it.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're eating sushi, the raw fish is sushi grade, so it's good enough to eat raw.
Who grades it?
Bill.
Oh yeah, we get the.
He's got a good or bad thing going.
We get that
Bill's grades.
salmon sashimi. Eat that with some rice.
It's weird because I don't think there is a scale for what is sushi grade. It's just like you either have it or you don't.
I just take a risk
like
at any
HD2
sushi
talent.
place I ever go to.
Well, you have to
Screw it.
You have to know your fishmonger. You have to know your butcher. because you're taking.
Fishmonger.
I can't wait to go to China.
What's a fishmonger?
So you guys got a
That's what it's
fishmonger?
called. The people you buy your fish from, fishmongers.
Oh, I don't like that.
You have to know them.
Why?
To trust them. Because anybody can just tell you, oh, yeah, this is USDA. Oh, yeah, this is grass-fed. Yeah, this is... You're just taking their word for it. You can't go look at a package and because it says on there what it is, you don't know what that's.
Well,
what
could
it
you
is.
trust people at the big grocery stores?
I don't know.
The restaurants, have you seen Atlanta is having a huge issue? There is a big national story going on that Atlanta, their quote-unquote fine dining restaurant, they had, people go undercover, order the fish, and then take samples of it. And they're selling $20 tilapia, but it's really like this trash $3 a pound fish that
Trash
they're
fish.
using. It is literally trash
No.
fish.
Oh, wow.
It's a huge issue in just Atlanta now, but I know it's a national story. So there's a lot of people skeeting out on the real meat and fish. So probably it, Beth, know your fishmonger.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name the company.
That's got to be
that
the name
story
of this,
is real.
The name of this segment.
I'm not
Know
gonna-
your fishmonger.
I'm not going to name the company. They've been out of business for like 40 years.
40 years.
Well, you might as well drag them.
But my dad used to get all of his steaks there. There was a meat shop in Brentwood, and he used to get all of his steaks there because he would barbecue every Sunday. But they were also selling meat to St. Mary Magdalene. They found out the meat that they were selling to St. Mary Magdalene, I don't want to say it was dog or whatever it was,
Oh,
but it was just not what they said it was. And they got shut down. Place closed down.
health department shut them down?
Yeah, and I think they got a big fine, too, for what they were selling. I don't know what it ended up being, but it wasn't meat.
What could it have been if it wasn't
I don't
meat?
know, maybe dog, I don't know.
Well, that'd be meat. It'd just be dog meat.
Yeah, but it wasn't hamburger.
I think the moral is know your fishmonger.
Kind of sucked because we knew we had to find someplace else to get steaks.
Yeah. Well, how do you know the steaks you were getting were
Well,
good?
because they
and
like
not big dogs.
Because they knew my dad. They weren't going to get my dad bad steaks.
Well, you never know. If they do that for the kids, they do that to your dad.
No, they wouldn't.
What you looking for, baby?
Jackson, what's the problem?
He's looking for something.
You looking for
You
the
looking
fan?
for a boy?
I thought I left a rogue AirPod in here, but don't worry.
Uh-oh.
Jackson's in the southwest corner of the studio.
He is now in the southwest corner of the studio.
Yeah, you got those if you want them.
Now he's southeast. And out he goes.
Out he goes again. If you are looking to go to the south side, go to Ted Drew's. And you will go to either South Grand or Chippewa and enjoy the 30-plus flavors they have at Ted Drew's Frozen Custard. The one in South Grand is the oldest custard stand in the country. It was opened in 1931. I like the City Red. It is brand new this year. It's Ted's Vanilla Frozen Custard along with maraschino cherries, Dad's Scotch Oatmeal Cookies, and, of course...
What else?
Coconut flakes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's Ted
Gosh.
Drew's Cardinal Sin, Dutchman's Delight. They've got it all at Ted Drew's Frozen Custard. Check it out. We have the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today coming your way in about 13 minutes here. And then Jackson and I are going to get our asses ripped for an hour.
Yeah, you got it coming.
Yeah, I think so. On 101 ESPN, you can hop into the YouTube chat there. If you thought Aaron Sitzies was banty, Aaron Sitzies is nothing, Doug, in comparison to what you'll see at the 101 ESPN YouTube chat. They are not happy.
They're not liking the trades?
Just in general.
Just always unhappy.
Just not particularly happy about the whole situation.
I'll come down and break down the Corn Ferry Tour for you.
I wouldn't
No
mind-
one wants
I
it.
legitimately wouldn't mind that. Mentality is online at lowtusa.com. God, I got up at 2:20 this morning and I didn't fall back asleep. Oh, the worst.
Oh, yeah, don't look at your phone. If you get up, do not look at your phone.
God, I didn't have anything to eat or drink after 6:30. I used the little wizard's room right before going to bed. I thought, Doug, there couldn't be anything that I would have to wee out. And then my prostate started tingling.
Oh, have you thought about running a nightly catheter?
That's not a bad idea, actually.
It's a horrible idea. Been there, done that. You don't want that.
So I do feel tired today. I don't think it's because of low testosterone. That's because I've been out to Mentality to get checked. You can get checked at lowtusa.com. Mentality is a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you have been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it was not fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restores their ability to perform normally at all levels, compete at work and at sports like you did years ago by working with Mentality at lowtusa.com. That is mentality. And check out Big St. Charles Motorsports. It's BigSt.CharlesMotorsports.com. I-70 in the Cave Springs exit in St. Peters. Disconnect from the daily grind with something far more powerful, the oceans and lakes around you. The Yamaha 2023 Wave Runner lineup offers everything, including the Built for Fun EX Series, the Race Ready GP Series with performance-enhancing technology, and top-of-the-line FX Series. Chase a thrill or find an escape with Yamaha Wave Runners, designed to bring you closer to everything you love about the water. Get your 2023 Yamaha Wave Runner at Big St. Charles Motorsports, located on I-70 at Cave Springs in St. Charles, Missouri. It's BigStCharlesMotorsports.com. Tim, can we get to Jackson trying to say species on Friday on Balloon Party? That's from the Foot Soldier.
Oh, that was rough.
I don't
Species.
remember that.
Just the word itself?
It was the last 5 minutes of broadcasting I had to do that week, and I couldn't get the word. It's still tough for me to say it.
We might have found a roadblock.
Species. I always try to throw an
species?
The H in there throws me off.
Species.
There's not
There
an
you go,
H
you
in
just did.
species, is there?
But there's an H sound. Because it's spelled like
Mound
species. It's spelled like species.
Group Sheksh.
But species, it's just tough. for me.
You put the sh on the long S.
I know, it's bad.
Species.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me. Like, I have like mental blocks with
Why were
words
we talking
sometimes.
about species on Balloon Party?
My final question for the Little Piddles Friday 6-shooter, brought to you by Angry Beaver.
Yeah, it's sponsored now by Angry Beaver.
Yes, sir. My question was, if you had to show the aliens, because this was in the wake of the alien UFO congressional hearing, if you had to show the aliens one sports game to prove that we are a worthy species, and so that they wouldn't probe our holes, which one would you pick? Which in itself, the question, if you like it or you don't, it's not really germane to the conversation. I was just having trouble saying the word species, just like I struggle with Bengals.
Bengals.
Doesn't sound right. So that's the explanation. If the
Well, it's kind of an odd question you asked just in the first place.
Well,
What sport would you show?
No.
aliens?
What game? Like, what's the game you would show to say, like, hey, this is what humanity's all about, baby?
What game?
Sure.
Like a.
I was alarmed by the question, candidly.
Like an individual game, or Game 6 of the 2011.
That was
World
one that I
Series?
through out there. Tim threw out the Miracle on Ice game. I thought that was a good one.
And that would show people from
other planets,
the outer cosmos, that we've got our act together, and don't plunge our holes.
Correct.
That was the question.
Even though showing hockey could be tough, because
red alert.
Well, just in like principle, like the game itself is kind of silly. Like the idea of here's a big block of ice and a bunch of guys with knives on their feet and just kind of racing around with a puck.
Skate, boy, skate.
Right. So like I feel like dry land sports might be our better option.
Guys, I would show that game where Hicks threw the ball over a guy's head down the line in Miami. That's from KJ and O-Town.
Yeah, see, good suggestions are coming in. I think it was a good question.
Yeah, good question for this crowd. I don't know how it went over on Balloon Party.
Well, it didn't go over well, Iggy, at all, as a matter of fact. And they said that it was typical to do. Once you get money, you get lazy. That's what the accusation was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, people can believe what they want to believe. I can't control people's feelings towards my work. I can only control my work.
Yeah.
Wow. That was eye-opening. That was like Tony Robbins talking to me right there.
Would have been a good question at some of my physical therapy sessions where most of the people have lost their marbles.
Maybe I can moonlight as that.
Yeah.
Supplement my income. Be a counselor.
They'd hear that question and go, oh, sure, good question.
Right. That's what I need. I need people just pumping my tires and, keeping my arm loose.
Yeah.
Man, with heat like that, I can't believe the 101 ESPN audience doesn't embrace Diaper Boy. That's from Stan the Caddy. Oh, Diaper Boy,
Danny
the pipes.
Yeah. Your pipes are leaking.
They were singing before the toupee salesman got whacked in Goodfellas.
Maury?
Is that what Maury was singing?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Danny Boy.
Yeah.
I think so. Very nice. Very nice.
And then Joe Pesci got him with an ice pick.
Oh, yeah, ice pick from the back seat. Right?
Yeah, right in the back of the neck.
Yeah. And he thought he was going to get his money. When can I get my money?
I think Johnny Roast
my money?
Beef is the one who was strangled with Mrs. Roast Beef in their pink Cadillac.
Oh.
Yeah. Didn't think that guy had ever shut up.
They found Frankie Carbone in the meat freezer.
Yeah. And it was all based on a true story, right?
Yeah,
Or in
Lufthansa
Henry Hill.
heist.
Lufthansa heist.
Yeah, but we don't know that that's how the people got killed. Really,
It's all Henry Hill's memory.
Yeah.
We had Henry Hill on one time.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where is he now? Still a secret.
Yeah,
place?
passed away, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
I think he
Yeah,
just
probably
passed away.
Yeah, he was doing interviews.
Everyone leave my sweet, sweet Jackson alone. That's from Sweet, Sweet Kai.
Thanks, Kyle. That's my guy. Henry Hill died in 2012. Of course, Ray Liotta died last year. So there's that.
Okay. Yeah. Ray Liotta wasn't very old either. Was he?
61 I'm going to go.
I'm going to go a little older. I'm going to say 63. He died age 67.
Wow, Billy.
They used to sound old, not anymore.
Yeah, that seems young for a guy like him.
Favorite Ray Liotta movie?
Goodfellas.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. Anyone who's in Goodfellas is probably going to be my answer.
What was yours?
I can't think of the name of it. He was
only briefly
he was
in
a
Field
cop.
of Dreams.
He was a cop.
Copland.
No, this couple moved into a house and he started stalking the wife and wanted to kill the family.
Sounds like a Christmas movie.
No, I can't think of the name of it.
Identity?
Sounds like a holiday thriller.
Hallmark. You see that on the Hallmark Channel?
No, it was I mean, I saw it on TV, but it was in the theaters. I waited till it came out before I went and saw it.
Hey, Jackson, which Mizzou lost to a 15 seed when you show to the alien Norfolk State or Princeton? That's from the St. Charles or Mafford.
The Norfolk State team, like the Mizzou team, was better that year. The Princeton loss was more, no. Boy, they're both so gutting. Neither. I just take the probing at that point.
I think the Norfolk State one was worse than this year.
It was certainly worse, but like that was the first round game, whereas this was a second round game. It was a gift. We were supposed to play Arizona. Arizona lost to Princeton, so it felt like more of a gift to play a 15 seed in the second
But
round.
with Princeton, you knew Mizzou was beat about midway through the second half.
Yeah, even before that.
Before that.
Yeah.
Norfolk State, it was like, we're going to win this. We're going to, oh my God.
Yeah, it was too close for too long in the Norfolk State game. The Princeton game was like, oh no, we're getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
They can't miss, and we can't grab a rebound. So
Was Ray Liotta in Boogie Nights?
No.
Did he play that father?
Nope. No, not Boogie Nights.
William H. Macy. Oh, he got cucked.
Yeah.
Was that a cucking?
Oh, big time.
Major cucking.
Might have been the biggest cucking in movie history.
It could be. It's right up there for sure. And he wasn't happy about it.
You know, I watched Fatal Attraction for some reason last week. I'm sure you've seen that, Doug?
Yeah.
It's a very old film at this point, 36 years old, I guess. Did Glenn Close cuck Ann Archer?
Well, I think so.
No, it would
she
be-
cheated with her husband.
It would be Michael Douglas cucked his wife.
When was this? Isn't Michael Douglas
she was
in
cucked,
90?
but
But
Michael Douglas cheated on his wife, so Glenn Close just went along with it.
Oh, this is a movie.
Well, but she knew.
Yeah, she knew, but
So she was cucking the girl.
I think Michael Douglas cucked her
I
husband.
think both cucked her.
Well, I
Nice
think
little
the
celeb cuck.
spouse has to be the one cucking.
Oh, gosh, if we
Oh,
could
is that
only get
right?
a decent definition.
The mistress is almost the cucky.
Is that right?
Oh, I would think so.
The cuckus?
Yeah.
Yeah, Glenn Close was the cuckus?
And then to get your rabbit
It was a cuctus.
boiled, that was the worst insult of it all.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, come on, Doug. I haven't even seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet? Well,
What
it's been out
movie
for
are we talking
I'm
about?
trying to find the name of this
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal
Oh, yeah, I
Attraction.
haven't seen that.
Ray Liotta movie.
That kept people from cheating on their spouses for years.
I watched The Time to Kill the other day for first time since the Winnipeg series.
WPG.
Oh, good.
Wins per game.
Wins per game.
Time to Kill is good.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Young McConaughey.
God, he looks so good. Like, God. If I was a female, man, it just absolutely, I cannot believe
Now, Jackson, have you seen
Ashley Judd was able to compose herself.
What's up?
Oppenheimer? Was that good or bad?
Good. Good.
You saw
Really.
it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I hear some people saying they don't like it now.
I mean, that's just going to be the case all the time with movies. But yeah, I mean, the third hour gets a little clunky, but it's really good.
Stop it. It's in my divorce decree. It's not a cuck. It's called cheating. Thanks. That's from Injun Joe's Cave Ride Magic Man.
Oh.
Well, if it's in the marriage contract.
Well, you're not getting
I guess
married,
it's
so
not
what does it
a cuck.
matter?
How do you know he's not getting married?
We don't know.
He's been engaged for like 13 years.
Well,
5-year engagement.
Well, 5-year engagement is going on 13.
They're just young lovers trying to make sure they're doing the right thing.
That sounds like a Hallmark movie. 13 Years Engaged is the title.
5-year engagement with Jason Segel.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Emily Blunt, who's also in Oppenheimer. Full circle.
Well, some people, if it's your second marriage or something, sometimes there are benefits to be had by one party or the other to not officially get married to someone else, such as alimony payments.
Smart business move.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, before I start watching Billions,
Nice job, Miller.
Last season, did what's his name come back?
What are we talking about now?
The guy who used to be the lead in Billions.
Damian Lewis?
Yeah, is he?
Oh, is that a new season?
Did he come back last season?
I don't know.
I thought
I
thought Tim and Jackson watched it.
I've watched up to like season 3.
I stopped watching.
Yeah, I kind of fell out of love with it. Succession kind of really cucked it in terms of big white-collar billionaire television.
Yeah, I watched it after Damian Lewis left the next season, but I didn't watch last season. But you show, commercials for it, and he's on there, just his pictures. I don't know if he's back or not.
He was so good in Band of Brothers. And then I heard him interviewed, and he talks in this thick English accent.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of odd that they wouldn't have gone for an American actor who didn't have to fake an accent the whole show? I mean, he must be a
these actors,
damn good actor.
These actors
to be able,
are so good at...
He sounded like he was from Iowa or something.
Yeah. A lot of English actors do that. Now you have Gwyneth Paltrow, who moved to England, and then a week later was doing an interview, and, "Hi, Charlie, good to be with you."
Oh,
and the guy actually said, what is that accent? "I live in England now." "Yeah, but you've been there a week." He started berating her for talking an English accent. Like, just because you moved there a week ago, you don't have to talk like that.
They probably don't like us stealing their accent. They're upset about what we did to their language in the first place.
But it's pretty easy if you have a good dialect coach to change your accent.
I don't know. I think it'd be tough. Especially a show that long. Gosh, they must have been filming that for a year or more.
Yeah, he was good at Homeland, too. Then I stopped watching that after he got killed.
Oh.
Spoiler.
Guess I don't have to watch that.
No, he dies.
He played Steve McQueen in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, wasn't great.
Yeah, I could see that he looks a little like Steve.
You didn't think the movie was good?
No, I loved the movie. I just thought his part in it was a little weird.
Wasn't in it very long, though, right?
No, it was just in it for that one scene at the Playboy Mansion, but he was just like, I don't know. He doesn't, Steve McQueen is tough because he's so legendary. That's tough to be like, oh, here's Steve McQueen. Same with Burt Reynolds. They got a guy to play Burt Reynolds, and he looked nothing or sounded nothing like Burt Reynolds. So it's tough to when you're making movies about movies.
Yeah, it's hard to play people who everybody knows what they look like.
Yeah, it's the whole reason Air didn't use Michael Jordan, because how can you get somebody to look and sound like Michael Jordan?
Yeah, you can't.
Everyone knows what Michael Jordan looks like.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to decide who's going to win the July 2023 Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. If Brian Henson wins, we have a one-game playoff. If anybody else wins, Buck Swope wins the month of July, presented to you by Design Air Heating and Cooling. And Young, I didn't really listen to today's show, but I do have a promo code, so let's take off our socks and get to it, shall we? That's from #1 Asian intern Brian Henson, but Doug knows him better as ASMR Killing Kittens 34, the explicit ASMR star to the stars. What's that, not enough nudity in your whisper videos? Well, drop your drawers and swing by his OnlyFans page, wherein they're hosting a quiet virtual orgy. This week's theme, the Roaring Twenties. Did you know Jay Gatsby, a.k.a. The Great Gatsby, was the original pornographic whisper star? It's true. Look it up. The next 5 subs receive a free 12-hour trial, a pack of Swisher Sweets, and a carton of blueberries. Tap, tap, smash, smash, squish, squish, clip, clop. Is that a horse? Swoosh, bitches.
Odd email. Brian Henson.
And Young. I need y'all to text Whisper Slut to 590-9203. It will subscribe you to a notification list, and you'll start receiving updates on, quote, cool things going on around town, unquote. Like this really cool thing where you pay $20 to put stickers on a bus. This other thing where if you're one of the first 7 to 10 people to show up for a McDonald's grand opening, you might receive some fresh ASMR swag. What a deal. Again, that's 599-9203. Thanks, and stay tuned. It's #1 Asian intern, Brian.
Kind of an odd email. Brian Henson, point 2.
Let's hope you get another one.
After Friday's show, my boyfriend, Simon, got me a gift card to swim with Buffett the manatee.
Oh.
My colon is heavily calloused from years of friction, so we were not concerned about it getting ripped. We are heading down with a brief stop in Panama City Beach to stay the night at Mr. Lynx's timeshare. It doesn't have an ocean view, but he might get one someday. We will keep everyone posted on how our swim goes. Cross your fingers that I get some of that high-intensity penetration and not just necking. Gotta scoot. That's Doug's microphone shadow.
Gosh. Doug's microphone shadow.
I, too, have had some swelling in my pant.
Oh.
Kind of a cute story about the first time I got an erection gone fishing. Such a simple sign that we've all seen a million times. What I didn't know until my 18th birthday was what it really meant. Me and Uncle Skip pulled up to his drinking buddy Tony's house, and there was the sign. But this time it had my name on it. Gone fishing with Adolf. Skip could tell I was both excited and bewildered. He was like, "Yeah, buddy, it's your turn. You're old enough. It's time you learned about going to fifth base." With that, we drove to the bike paths that are now Kenrick Subdivision. But back then, it was the coolest place to go. Tony took me to a secret spot, a small little pond where I hoped the bass were biting. Up came driving a khaki stud on a T. Murray Chrome BMX bike. Tony said, "Just like you were fishing and just watch the show out of the corner of your eyes." With that, the pretty boy just started pile driving Tony's backside with a ribbed prophylactic. It was so old that it was like Brillo pad. So we pulled out and finished with the 5-knuckle shuffle. Doug, this isn't the filtered file, and it comes from Adolf
Jackson.
Adolf.
Then the middle name is Olive, and then his last name is his nipple.
Adolf Olive Nippel.
And Young, the opening 20 minutes or so were fairly heavy baseball discussion, so you knew a Kenny Kane was coming, and oh my God, it took no prisoners upon finally making landfall in the final segment. What began with the sickest of flexes, quote, "I shop at Etsy," unquote, dovetailed immediately into a tale about how while searching for some fresh spanking content, he got distracted and began daydreaming. In this totally original idea that I had, there would be a nice little deli attached to a grocery shop so you could do your shopping, then bebop on over for a fresh sandwich. Yep, totally original idea. What's that? There are literally dozens of those on the hill? Well, stuff a sock in your mouth, Doug, because we're building ours in the crappier parts of town. Anyways, come by for the Ebola special. Thanks. That's from number one Asian intern Brian Henshin, brought to you by Etsy.
Oh, Brian Henshin, brought to you by Etsy.
And finally, Sadie Hawkins, Doug. The Cardinals dropped 3 or 4 to the Cubs. Mo got meh returns for his deadline trades. Iggy cracked his phone. Nobody on the show has seen the chick Ghostbusters. Caller Adam is sending Iggy nudes. Aaron Sitzies is hyperventilating in the YouTube chat. But I think the lead is this Andrea John Thompson nude scene that Iggy found with the pop-up asking if he's jerking alone that his neighbor heard because for some reason Iggy's watching nude scenes in his breezeway. Just when I thought the fan page couldn't get any dumber, it had to go and do something like this and totally redeem itself. Friday night, following the Cardinals' latest gut-wrenching loss, a fan pinner with the initials JS wrote a novel ripping Ollie Marmol for pinch-hitting Brendan Donovan for Jordan Walker in the bottom of the 9th. Now, this was odd because we know from the report in Friday's St. Louis Sun that Ollie Marmol had been suspended a period of 1 day's time. Is that a new report? Oh, we don't know. JS opened his 4-paragraph screed with these 2 sentences. Tonight, reason number 59 why Ollie Marmol is a moron. It's like that guy has never watched a single game of baseball. This is an odd line for someone who clearly did not watch the game closely enough to notice that Joe McEwing was calling the shots. Wait a minute. Did you watch it or did you not watch it? JS was prosecuting the wrong man, assuming Marmol wasn't pulling a Bobby Valentine, only with a more sophisticated Mission Impossible style disguise. JS proceeds to call Marmol the worst manager in baseball and an absolute clown. Before declaring Marmol unqualified for his job based on a decision someone else made on a day that Marmol wasn't even at work. He's a horse's ass for doing that.
Oh.
That's from Buck Swope. And Doug, that's what we have.
Buck Swope.
For the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, what you got? If Brian Henson wins, we have a sudden death playoff. If anybody else wins, Buck Swope wins the month.
Well, I don't know that Buck's premise is entirely accurate, that a manager who's been suspended is not still making the calls, or if Marmol makes the calls at all in the first place. So based on that, I'm not going to vote for Buck Swope, even though he had a nice email. I'm going to vote for Brian Henson, brought to you by Etsy. Last of the Brian Henson offerings.
You took the words out of my mouth, because a manager can get ejected and he's still calling shots from around the dugout. You can get suspended. You still are in the clubhouse calling shots. So 3/4 of his email was false. For that reason, I'm going with Henson.
Wow. Brian Henson is forced to playoff. It doesn't matter. Brian Henson won. I was going Doug's microphone shadow. So Iggy sent Brian Henson to a one-game playoff for the month of July tomorrow.
Okay, gosh, excitement.
Wow.
Usually you don't like his emails. Or typically you don't vote for Henson, am I correct?
I voted for him a few times. I vote for the best one. I voted for Swopes before.
You're a man of honor.
I agree with Swope that it's a sewer, that fan page, but...
I haven't even been on there in months, right?
Well, he's pointing it out. Stuff's still going on over there.
Oh, it's bad.
Congratulations, Brian Henson. You and Buck Swope will go heads up tomorrow, Doug. This is going to be fun.
It'll be fun.
Legit.
With the Cardinals out of the race, we have to drum up excitement somehow, and this is how we're doing it.
Now, heads up. Henson can only send in one, or can he still send in 3 for a heads-up match?
Typical as what he always done.
Yeah, it's like we really care, but I don't even know why I asked the question.
Well.
Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway. We got to deal with this situation. It's called Balloon Party. It airs on 101 ESPN. It's presented to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. You can watch it and interact with the commenters on the 101 ESPN YouTube page. Doug, that's coming up. You have a sound story today?
I do.
12:30.
12:30.
All right, there you go. That's coming up as well. If you're interested in a sound story, go to mysoundstory.com to learn more. Time for us to shut it down. For the Plowhawk, for Action Jackson, for Kenneth Iggy Strode, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn, and Tim McKernan, this has been the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Butter me up, Daddy.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.